wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying.
You are the only participant in the conference.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. Jet, we Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Rick flaring, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. One eye open like Betty Wops, then find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow, who can't cry for spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase, yeah, Bubba C, yeah, Rick flaring on him, Rick flaring on him, Rick flaring on him, Rick flaring, sun up, baby.
Hey, yo, Scotty, we back.
Yo,
Appreciate you for reaching
you a
out.
star.
I'm like, hey, it's outspoken. A lot changed. Granted, the concept we still hosting. Giving you the fix you need when on the screen. The veteran, Captain Petty, giving you medicine. Come tap in. You know Scott gon' do what he do. Might not want to hear it, but here go the hard truth. Perry about the numbers, regret if you're not fact-based. When you run your lane, the numbers seem like a statue. Wait. Hey, Scotty, man, I'm not feeling it. I don't think the people feeling it. Let me get in my bag a little bit, just showing what this outspoken really about to be like. Outspoken, this is more than conjecture. These days they land people lost. So glad that we got our own. Hunger insatiable, made for you if you say you objective. Hard truth offering, no offense, just perspective. Come get your dosage and go with me. We spit it like poetry. The pivot was pivotal. Could rhyme here, but I'd rather not. Some say Scotty, some call him Scott. The best one since Stewart. If you know, then you know. But if you don't, then you're lost. Let me be frank for a minute, cause we all know that's how Perry be. Break it down the game for what it was, no apologies. This my hypothesis, you tune in, you like watching it. It's common sense, obvious, competent, rugged, and confident. Hey, we outspoken. We outspoken. Outspoken.
Hey, back. What is going on, everybody? You already know what it is. It's Monday night. Listen, I've been waiting for this show all day, every day. It was a very eventful weekend, to say the least. But listen, we're going to get right into today's show. Listen, I can't do this without my brother from another. Please give it up for my main man, Pray White! Hey, oh, we barely won. Oh, we barely won. No. Hey, oh, we're supposed to be a good team. We barely won. No. That's how I go.
Am I moving it slow? Is my internet good?
No, your internet's fine.
I just want to make sure all that shit you talking. A win is a win. I don't give a damn if it's a fraction of a point, man. Listen. Can I go on a rant right quick, man, so we get the show started?
Go ahead, Pete.
You know, I know you don't like me using the N-word on here, and I know it's certain people behind the scenes that don't like me using the N-word, but I'm gonna use it. You ever watch the 40-year-old virgin?
Oh, I love that movie. I love it.
You remember when Kevin Hart and the associate got into it?
Oh yeah.
You want nigga? Nigga here.
Nigga here now.
Nigga here now. Nigga here now. All right.
No, he's been helped.
Yeah. When I come back, hey. I just want to know, have you ever been in a situation, and excuse my language, and I know we getting the show started. I don't know how long you got to go into a YouTube before you can cuss. How many more minutes?
Oh, I think it's like a minute, so you're good. That's why I do the intro and stuff like that. But go ahead.
You ever been in a situation nigga had you fucked up? You just let me know. Have you ever been in a situation and a nigga had you fucked up?
Oh, something is wrong with you.
It's a real question.
A few times.
I'm sure you have, because I've seen Captain Petty, Sergeant Smoke.
A few
so
times.
I know.
A few times.
A nigga just had you straight up fucked up, right? All right. I'm on that tonight. All right.
Oh, Jesus.
They wasn't expecting to start the show like this.
Oh, that was funny.
I'm just saying.
Oh, that was funny.
Well, let's move on with the show. I just wanted to know if you or the audience have ever had somebody just flat out just had you fucked up, right? And you had to address it.
I mean, it's fair. That's fair. I mean,
I've seen you address it many days. Who is Gold Dust? And
you trying to get me shut down today?
No, man. I'm with that. Like, I just want to, we midway in the season. The midterms is over, right?
Yeah.
I'm on one tonight. All right, so I bring it back down. I know you're gonna get that call in your ear. They like, yeah, go to commercial.
Yeah, go to break.
But everybody in this chat know what I'm talking about when you've been in a situation and the niggas just had you fucked up. That's just simply what it is, right?
Boy, you stupid.
I just wanted to make sure it's tonight about being relatable, right? Being relatable.
I mean, we were relatable. I mean, don't nobody do what we do and say how we say it. So I think it gets no more relatable than that. But that's fair. Because sometimes, like, you're right. Sometimes people just got you messed up. No,
not people.
A person.
A what?
An individual.
No. A what?
A nigga.
Got you fucked up.
You know what? Before we go into the hot topics. Have you ever played the game Categories?
What? What now?
Have you ever played the game Categories?
I have not.
Okay. Maybe it's the intellectual people game. But anyway, it's a game to where you have the letters, like you have a 26 letter die, right? And you roll it, and whatever letter you land on, they give you like a list of stuff that you gotta match with the letter. Like, so if it's a letter O, it was like name an animal with the letter with the O and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like name a food and all that stuff. Very good, very, very fun game. Very fun game. Right? So we're playing the game, and you get points for every. So it's like it would be like a group of 6 of y'all, and if you have the same answer as somebody else, it don't count. So you got to think outside the box and stuff like that. So anyway, so the word was in. The letter was in, right?
I got one for you.
The letter was in, right? And it was like things that you don't let in your house, and I was like, niggas.
Hey.
And people
they'll have you fucked up.
Listen, I was trying to explain to the group I was in because there was some Caucasians, you know what I'm saying, and there was some black people, but they were trying to challenge me. They were trying to challenge me like, no, Scotty, you can't say that, I'm like, listen, there's a difference between black people and niggas. And
hey, let it cook and let a nigga in your house and watch him show out with that to-go plate. Watch him show out with that to-go plate.
They're going to eat a plate there. They're going to have 3 to 4 to go. Got to get one for the family. My mama hungry. All that extra stuff. So
when you play charades and that N-word came up and you say you don't let what in your house?
What
was your answer?
Niggas. Listen, all the black people was rocking with me. They was like, hey.
You got good black folks, and I enjoy listening. When y'all watch this show, you looking at a good black dude, right? I once was a nigga, okay? I like nigga shit, all right? But I like good black folks, right? Genuine, good black folks. Don't laugh at me, Scotty, okay? I like good black folks. But sometimes, when you get around family and you get around friends and you get around folks that you don't know that's associated with other folks,
yeah,
it's niggas. And you have to ask yourself, hey, chill out. You're going overboard. You got to check one when you meet one. Because if not, boy, they'll take full advantage of you, Scotty. Listen, if anybody know how to take advantage of you, and this last time I said, a nigga know how to take full advantage. I'm over. Okay, let's move on. I don't want to go too much.
I don't think we've ever used the N-word in such a consolidated time frame so much on this show ever.
I had to get it. I know they don't like it. Some people just be like, why are they doing that? I'm sorry. It just had to start the show. We midway through the season. Hold on. I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Hold on. See what I'm doing?
See, that's that nigga stuff that you know what I'm saying? How long you been doing this show? And you still?
My mind was so caught up. I was just like, you know what? I'm on it tonight, so I'm good.
Okay, all right. I'm
like
glad.
To do that drop, except that whatever that is over there.
Yeah, man. I thought it was. Listen, we moved into the crib, so it was the wall was greening, and I just couldn't. The green was just doing too much for me, so I had to do a little razzle dazzle. You know what I'm saying? So I did.
There's a lot of shit you could have did, but that though.
I like it. You know what I'm saying? I like it. You know what I'm saying? I like it.
It's your home. I rock it.
It feels like me. You know what I'm saying? It feels like me. I'm more of a grayish, you know what I'm saying, low tone type of feel. More of a mellow. Like I like dreary stuff. Like when I went to Seattle, Washington, and because if you ever been to Seattle, Washington, it rains like pretty much like 80% of the year. I love it. I absolutely love it. You know what I'm saying? So
you know who don't love it?
Who?
Take a while, get started with the end.
Man, we are moving on. We are moving on. You know what I'm saying? To each his own.
I want to know. You didn't see a lot of us up there, did you?
Nah.
All right, then. That's all I'm saying.
I like it. I like it, though. I enjoyed it. Let's go. Hot topics or hot and viral, right? Listen. This has been rampant over Facebook. If you ain't in no Facebook groups, listen, them rattlers is rattling today, okay? Rattlers! They out there. They out there with
what you say, who you yelling for?
Rattlers! The rattlers is rattling today. They have clinched the East my good friend BJ called me. He's like, Scotty, I don't think in the history of the SWAC I've ever known somebody to have clinched it in October. He said like November, yeah, early November-ish, yeah. But in October, he's like, I can't recall somebody clinching it. And literally, if they get one more win, they get home field advantage, if I'm not mistaken, for the SWAC East Championship. So, for the SWAC Championship, Perry, I know Southern wish they could do something like this, but just give your opinion on the situation of the finesse guy finessing his way to a SWAC East Championship.
Are we done using the N-word? Because I got one for him.
Hey, this is your listen. If this N-word show, then it's gonna be. I'm gonna change the graphic at the top. I'm just like,
that nigga be winning games, bro. Like he can't. I'm done. All right, that's the finesse guy. That's Willie Simmons. If y'all didn't watch the last episode, you need to tune in and listen to him. Bright brother, got a real big mind outside of football. Understands the world as around when he talk about his football players, when he talk about his program, when he talk about his institution. I love Willie Simmons, and because he's a guy that's personable. He's the finesse guy. He finds a way to pull out victories. What? Florida A&M is 20-2 since they joined the SWAC.
Yeah.
The only 2 losses have been to Jackson State, and guess what? It wasn't this year.
It definitely wasn't.
It wasn't this year. And they have shown why they have been the second best team in the conference. Forget who played in the SWAC championship the past 2 years. Hey, Eric Dooley is my coach at Southern, right? He coached at Prairie View and Southern. Those Prairie View and Southern teams were not the 2 best teams and the second best team in the conference. This dude and his team was the second best in the conference. And when you look at what they've been able to do, the body of work, only losing to one team in the conference in the past 2 years. You know what, Scotty? The SWAC championship is finally out of Mississippi.
Man.
Hey, I'm talking about Mississippi had you ever seen what we watched? We watched something once, and somebody got choked out one time. I forgot what video that was, but somebody here got choked out. I forgot what video was that?
I couldn't tell you.
We watched somebody get choked out. I forgot whatever it was, but Mississippi has been having a chokehold on the SWAC championship between Alcorn in 18 and 19. And then you look at Jackson State and what they've been able to do. Now you're talking about the possibility of taking this thing to Tallahassee. And listen. And we'll talk about it later in the show. Scotty, Bragg Memorial Stadium.
It's different.
Listen.
Different.
Listen. It's not a place for the faint of heart. All right? I'm going to use the word one more time. It's niggas in there. All right? And it's 20,000 plus of them.
Easy.
Good luck to whoever you are that have to go in there and deal with that, Scotty. That's the last time I'm going to use. I promise. I promise.
Listen, I know. Listen. And I was literally, me and BJ was just having a conversation about that. Playing at Bragg is like going to LSU at night. Like that's not where you want to be, right? And I don't give a damn if it's Bragg in the daytime, dusk, dawn, night. You don't want to be in Bragg if you're not FAMU, right? If you any other team other than FAMU, you don't want to be in Bragg. And they just have a hold on the SWAC when it comes to a home field advantage, and that crowd being what it is. And like you said, there's some niggas there, right? That's that student section gonna be rocking.
They own you. I saw it personally. They'll literally come sit on the bench with you.
It's gonna be a wild ride.
They'll literally come sit on the bench with you. The thickest was it thick 30 what?
Thick 36.
She'll come holler at you. The band director may come holler at you. The cheerleaders may come holler at you. The SGA president may come holler at you. The president of the school may come holler at you on the side. You got to stay focused.
Yeah.
And we'll get into it a little bit later, especially a homecoming and how that turned out. Going to Bragg Memorial. I think FAMU right now owns one of the longest home winning streaks in the country. And when you talk about any team have to go to Bragg, if you want to look at what it is to have home field advantage in the conference and all the FCS, what we just showed with the finesse guy, he's built something there, man. And it is something magical. And it is something that you have to really come focused and ready and prepared to play. You got to be a coach to have your team locked in when you go to Bragg Memorial because of the distractions. Then we see it with Alabama State earlier this year.
Yeah.
We've seen it with plenty of teams that had to go there. And until you get there and see it for yourself, you will find out that Bragg Memorial ain't a place for the faint of heart. You got to be real life in tune with yourself and know who you are, because you will get distracted and get pulled away from who you are and your team in Bragg Memorial.
Absolutely. And I mean, at the end of the day, man, I'm happy for FAMU fans, right? Because they've had their trials in the MEAC, right? Of not being eligible and being the best team, and then losing a game to Bethune-Cookman and knock them, all this stuff. But then they transfer over into the SWAC, and they've been straight dominant after. I mean, outside of the 2 years with Deion Sanders, there's not a team that has beaten them and doesn't look like it's going to be one in the foreseeable future. So you got to give kudos to Rattler fans and Coach Willie Simmons for what he's built there. Because once again, talking to BJ earlier, he's like, man, FAMU was bad. Like, he's like, they were bad for a long time, and to have him come and establish a culture, establish a program, and now seeing the success that he's had for the past 2 years in the SWAC is just, it's a wild ride. It's absolutely a wild ride.
I clap my hands. Respect is given. I give all due respect to what they've been able to build, the culture, the fans. Shout out to FAMU fans. They show up and they support. It ain't no lollygagging with them,
Not even the least bit.
Not even the least bit. And I respect that. And I can wholeheartedly understand that when your team is in position, Scotty, they put up SWAC East champ and the game was still going. Like, that's you. I'll wait. I'll keep that. Hold on. No, let's keep going. I'm sorry. Nope, I won't do that.
Oh, man, let's get into one of these games of the week, man. All right, Magic City Classic was an absolute classic. I mean, you had the ups, the downs. I don't know if you saw the game. Were you able to watch the game?
I watched the highlights of the game.
Okay, so you was too busy watching your nail biter. So
you know what I was doing. Come on, when people be asking for me on Saturdays, you know where I'm at. So I'll see you and your team after. Okay,
yeah,
Sunday morning at 3 o'clock in the morning is when I go back and watch all games.
Now, I'm not going to say who picked this game to right, because we'll get to the picks later.
Oh,
okay. We'll get to the picks later. So
don't be that dude, bro.
I'm not being what dude. Who do what? Do I'm just saying we ain't gonna talk about the picks. That's unnecessary right now. You know what I'm saying? Who picked the winner?
Oh, hey, you brought it up. I'm just saying.
I just want to let that be clear. But listen, man, watching this game, the headache that I get is not understanding Maynard. It felt like everything we talked about on Monday is really what came to pass on Saturday. I said Eddie Robb in this defense is going to be prepared for Xavier Langford. And they were prepared for Xavier Langford. I mean, he doesn't make you do anything different that is not a strength of Alabama State. Now, what bothers me is this. I'm watching Maynard on his coach interview, and he's talking about we gave up a field goal block and we gave up a punt return. Listen, I'm so sick and tired. Listen, I don't know if anybody, let me blow myself up. I don't know if HBCU fans don't understand this, but special teams is a part of football. It didn't just magically all of a sudden come back to you and be like, oh, did you know there's special teams on the play? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the stuff that irritates me about this game. But once again, Alabama State did everything they did in regards to their game plan of, hey, we're going to stop Xavier Langford. They made plays when they need to make plays, and they did what they did. Great win to Alabama State. What you got?
Are we breaking this game down?
I mean, what are we talking about?
I didn't know if this is a breakdown where we're going into this game.
We got it's recap. We create recapping. This is the game of the week. We recapping it.
Because I don't know what the hell Cornell Maynard is yelling, what wrong play he yelling into the head. Okay? That's why I just wanted to ask before I go there. I don't know what wrong play he yelling in. If he telling Langford just
how about this? We'll get a little assistance on breaking down this play. Please give it up for the quarterback for Alabama State, my man, Damon Stewart. What's up, D?
Yo.
What's up, big time?
Why you didn't have the Bama State fight song for the man?
Man, listen. I only got so many drops on my keyboard. Okay, I only got so many drops. Please bear with me. Okay.
Do you still got that one for A&M from when we did homecoming?
No, I don't got that either.
Oh, you got rid of that homecoming
Yeah,
drop?
I got rid of that.
Oh, okay, yeah, because A&M needed that with 16 points.
Absolutely, Dave. Man, listen, I'm so glad you could join us, man. Big, huge win at the Magic City Classic. Your first Magic City Classic. Talk about the experience, man. Talk about the environment. Talk about, you being involved in that and how serious the fans take it and the alums.
Yeah, appreciate you guys for having me. You feel me? It was definitely a crazy experience. I can't lie. It was definitely my first time. And to be honest, before I even got to UAB, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like,
oh, wow.
Didn't even know the Magic City was a thing. So, but yeah, it was definitely an experience. The atmosphere was crazy, wild, but I'm used to stuff like that, especially when I moved to Mississippi my senior year. I played in Mississippi and Alabama are kind of like the same because they don't have pro teams in any sport. So the high school college football is a huge atmosphere. So I was kind of used to it, but I'm built for stages like that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Let me listen. Everybody wants to know the Hail Mary. Okay. So you're down at half. You make a great play. You throw it to the running back. You get to the 50. Was the Hail Mary always designed for Keyshawn, or was coach just telling you, hey, throw it up and give whoever opportunity?
So the crazy thing is, that play is supposed to be ran totally different.
Wow.
But like it was supposed to be thrown to the right corner of the end zone, and it's supposed to have a guy in the back, a guy under for the tip, just in case. It's supposed to be ran totally different like it. But so we go in, they we were supposed to get the ball back before they had scored, or we were planning to get a ball back. It was third down. He was like, run the ball. Coach Rob was like, run the ball, get me the half. That's what he's talking to the OC, my OC and me. He's like, run the ball, give me the half. And then we had they scored. We had got the kickoff on a short field. They had a short kickoff. So then after that, we went out there. He called a pass play. I saw they were in prevent. I saw they had them 3 deep safeties, 3 down linemen. So that first play, I just took the check down. I was like, let me not force nothing. Take the check down. I saw Coach Rob take the timeout. He called timeout. He was like, what you want to do? You want the OC? He said, what you want to do? You want to do Hail Mary? I said, let's do it. And we dropped. We hopped out there. They're in another 3 down. I knew my O-line wasn't going to let them boys just come back there like that. So I knew I just had to buy myself a little time, wait for them boys to get downfield. I saw Keyshawn kicking another gear. And I was like, I like my guy over any guy in the country. So,
hey.
And he got up.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is when he caught it, like I didn't even celebrate. Like I didn't even know what to feel. Like I threw it, I saw it, and the first thing that came to my mind, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is the Magic City Classic for real."
Hey, that's what it's the Magic City for real, for real. Let me ask you this: you've had an up and down season, playing, not playing, not playing. But how have you always stayed prepared? It seemed like every time you've touched the field, every time you've been given the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? You guys have gone out and you've if it wasn't Demetrius one game, if it's you another game, but you guys have both looked prepared. Talk about Eddie Rob and Harry getting you guys prepared for whoever might play those games.
I mean, yeah. To be honest, they coach us equally, all the same. You feel me? It's never been one guy more than the other. It's always the same, and they prepare. They always tell each other. We tell all of us in the QB room that you're one play away. You're one play away. You feel me? Anything can happen. I'm not guaranteed anything, but yeah, they do a good job preparing us. We have a lot of reps. We also have a camera that we wear in practice that we have virtual reality. It's a 360 It's a 360 camera. So like I can, even if I'm looking forward, I could still put on the VR and turn all the way behind me, see the running back. So like, and that just, you can go through the rep over and over and just see the defense, so that helps as well. But I would say just my whole life too, both my parents Marines for 10 years. So I've always heard that saying, stay ready so you don't got to get ready. Feel me? So
that's what happens. You got anything, B?
Tell the people your name, brother.
Damon Stewart.
Say it again for a little louder for the people in the back in Huntsville, Alabama.
Damon Stewart.
That's Damon Stewart, if y'all didn't know. Listen, let me break down the Magic City Classic, right? This is one of the biggest HBCU football classic games in all the land, right? Alabama State get the victory 31-16. Let's do a little breakdown of the game. And you know it better than me, Damon Stewart, because you played in it, right?
Yes,
First downs, Bama State 11, Alabama A&M 14. Bama State goes 5 of 14 on third down. Alabama A&M struggles on third down, 3 of 16. But Bama State struggled on fourth down. Damon, I don't know what happened on fourth down. You guys go 0-3 on fourth down. Bama State go 3 of 5. But guess what? 287 total yards for Bama State, 202 in the air, 85 on the ground. 2 fumbles in this ball game, turnovers for Bama State. But on the other side for Alabama A&M, they go 290 total yards, 231 in the air, 59 on the ground. 2 turnovers in this game, 1 fumble interception. Mr. Stewart, 17 of 23, 202 yards, 1 touchdown. That got to be the best passing stats for Bama State all year when I look at what they've been able to do, right? Don't laugh. Chill out, okay? Scotty, chill out. Because you guess what? You got one of the best weapons, if not the best weapon, in all of the conference, and a guy named Keyshawn Johnson. 4 receptions, 82 yards, and 1 touchdown. On the other side, the guy who played against you at the quarterback position, Xavier Langford, 22 of 41 touchdown, 1 interception. He also had 14 carries. Hey, he didn't get them same yards he had against Grambling 2 weeks ago. Only 26 yards, 1 touchdown. And Terrell Gardner, 6 receptions, 62 yards, and 1 touchdown. I want to know from you, Mr. Stewart, from the quarterback position, what is it like playing with a weapon like a guy like Keyshawn Johnson, and what he brings to the offense as a guy that you can throw it up to and know that he can come down with it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, he definitely he gets out of it what he put in. Like, I've known him since I met him when I was at UAB. We started training in Birmingham, and I met him through the crazy thing is another Alabama State alumni. He played quarterback there, who's my trainer now, when Coach Price. But yeah, so I was working out with him, and I just see how he's running his routes and moving and all that, and I'm just like, I asked my coach, I'm like, who is that? And he told me who it was. So we've been locked in since ever since then. But that's how I got to Alabama State, was through our our friendship and that connection we had formed back then while I was at UAB. But yeah, it just, you feel me? It helps me. He makes me look good a lot of the time. Like, I can't take credit for everything, obviously not. But yeah, it's definitely a game changer when you're playing with a guy like that. Like, especially because he knows all wide receiver positions. So like throughout the game, y'all might think that the play is supposed to be designed like that, but y'all don't know in the huddle they switched him from the Z to the W, and he just running a different route. Like, so you feel me? It's just little things like that. He knows the whole wide receiver room. He's a leader, just like me. He's vocal, just like me. You feel me? So those guys look up to him and rally just behind him like they do me. So it's definitely different playing with a guy like that, and it takes some stuff off my shoulders.
And my last question I got to ask you, what has the quarterback battle for you done to help improve your game? Because it seems this has been an ongoing battle week after week since week 1. I was in in Montgomery when Southern took you guys on. I didn't get a chance to see you per se, but you have since inserted yourself into this offense. What has that battle done for you in order to help elevate your game?
I mean, wherever you go, like, whether it's from high school to college, like everybody was that dude in high school, and then you get to college, you feel me? I mean, everybody was that dude at their high school, but when you get to college, you see everybody was that guy. So like, every room's gonna have a competition. That's how you make each other better. That's how you keep sharpening your own iron. You feel me? Sharpening that knife. Like, you got to stay on your best game. So like, you got to have somebody that you feel like you have to watch your back, look over your back for, because he's on your tail. Like, and everybody's waiting to maximize their opportunity, make the most of their opportunity. Like, so I know, like I said at the beginning of the interview, there's nothing guaranteed at all. Like, I'm always one play away. So you just got to be ready when your name is called.
I got 2 questions, Stuart, and we're going to let you roll, man. The first one, I love how you embraced Alabama State. Man, like I see you on Twitter, I follow you on Twitter, and you just embrace the community, you embrace the school. What is it about Alabama State? If you were recruiting other, running backs, wide receivers, what is it about Alabama State that you just like more people need? Because you've been at UAB, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Down the road, you know what I'm saying? You've been there. What is it about Bama State that you should like, hey man, everybody should be here?
Yeah, it's the culture. Like, it's the alumni, the fan base. Like, they really pour into this school, and like, I didn't really know the history behind the school until I came up here on a visit. And the one thing I would tell like recruits, like for real, like, is they gonna give you your shot. Like, when I was on the phone talking to them recruiting, like all I could ask for was an opportunity, and they presented me that, and it's what I did with the opportunity. So like, recruits, if you got an offer from Bama State and they tell you got an opportunity, they gonna give it to you. It's just what you do with it. That's the best thing I can put. And I like how a lot of the coaching staff is from the SWAC or you feel me, SWAC based somehow, some way. So they then all did it, been there before. So I just like the whole nine, the whole culture behind it. I feel like it's dope, and the biggest reason, because I had other HBCU interests when I hopped in the portal, but and I had them coming out of high school. I had Jackson State coming out of high school, Mississippi Valley. I had all those yeah, you feel me? Like, but I like the reason why I like the reason why I chose Alabama State. I'm not gonna lie, is I like what Coach Erod did that homecoming game when they had Dion at the crib. Like,
I told people that was big time. He ain't. I told him, I was like, yo, that's big time. I said, because I wasn't really rocking with Erod until he did that too. I was like, yo, he a real one for that one. You gotta give him respect for that. So
yeah.
Erod for that one. Last question, and we gonna let you go, Stuart. Talk about that defense, man. You got to see him every day at practice. Bubba, Adrian, Vicky. Mikey Victor. Number 2. You got to see all these guys. Talk about that defense and how they make you better and just dealing with them on a daily basis.
I would say, hey, the crazy thing is, iron sharpens iron. I'll tell you that for one. But them boys, best defense in the SWAC. Best defense in the SWAC, in my opinion. Like, everyone, we've been hearing in those game plans, best offense. Oh, this guy is an NFL caliber running back. I'm not gonna say names, but blah blah blah. You feel me? We've heard that whole in the scouting report, but our defense definitely stands on all 10. Like, them boys come with it every day after practice, and I like the environment. Like, y'all think we might be chippy on them Saturdays? Practice is a whole different breed. Like, it's really like it's defense versus offense when it's at practice, but that's what we need, them hostile environments. Those get it prepared for those games, especially we have more away games than we do home games, for real.
Facts.
So it keeps us in that mindset. And then I would also say, though, like, Coach E-Rob's a defensive coach, though, so like there's a lot of stuff he be giving the defense that I feel like it's a little questionable, but you know how it go. But it makes me better because it makes me think faster too. Like, because if he's not giving me that play, he's like, oh, the linebacker would have got you right there, Stu, or this and that. You feel me? So it makes me speed up my clock, make a decision faster.
I like it.
Let me just, I got 2 for him before he go. How sweet was that locker room in Jackson, Mississippi, when y'all walked away knowing they had spoiled your homecoming the year before, and you get to go in and spoil their homecoming? That's the first question. How sweet was that for you guys?
I'm not gonna lie, yeah. You could feel it. As soon as that clock hit 0, you could feel it. Like, you could feel it. And then the locker room was definitely an environment. It was lit in there. But yeah, we went out there. Our coach since that Sunday when we came back, prepping for Jackson State, he showed us that video from last year. He told us have his back. So you feel me? We that's what we went in there knowing, had in our mind, and that's what the agenda was, to have our coach back. So that's what we did.
I hope Mike Reed is listening, because that question was for Mike Reed. And the second question, get out of here, Mike Reed. You will see you Wednesday. All right. And my second question got to be in terms of HBCUs, and this is for you, a guy coming from UAB to HBCUs, being able to play in front of a crowd like the Magic City Classic, to look up in the stands and see so many fans supporting you, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, but you've had an opportunity to play in HBCU spaces, particularly in the SWAC. What has it been like for you to play in this conference, to see the support of the fans, the atmosphere? It's nothing like this when you talk about the bands, the fans, the football teams, and you put that all together and we call it HBCU football. What has that been like for you, especially going to the Magic City Classic and looking up and saying, they got more people than the UAB game in this thing?
Facts.
Hey, yeah, you said something then. And trust me, I know from experience. But hey, our most packed game too at UAB was Alabama A&M. That's the crazy part. But no, like, it's definitely been, like I said, it's been an experience. Like, especially because, like, growing up, I didn't even too much know about HBCUs until, you feel me, Dion really put Jackson State on the map for real, for everybody to see. I wouldn't say he did put them on the map, because they were definitely on the map before him, like, now that I know. But yeah, I was
definitely games, bro. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but no, yeah, it's definitely been an experience. It's definitely been a culture shock, like, and I've enjoyed every minute of it since even though I didn't even play the Southern game. Like, when I stepped on the sidelines Southern game and saw how that atmosphere was, and I was like, okay, like I could already tell how the season was gonna go, and it's game after game after game. Fans travel. Like our coach told us that 36 states had bought tickets for the Magic City Classic, and I was just like realizing, I'm like, okay, like yeah, this is really like one of them games. So, and then when I got out there, especially being a captain, you know, it was my first game being a captain this year too. So I'm just taking it all in. Like, yeah, it's definitely a crazy experience. And I see even I see they supporting them bands sometimes more than the football team. So I see it. I like it. I love it all. I like the music they be playing, all that. I feel like the whole atmosphere, and I feel like I saw one of your tweets not too long ago. Like, if we had the same publicity and resources that all them other schools would have, you feel me? What's understood don't gotta be explained.
Don't gotta be explained. It don't gotta be explained. But
welcome to the SWAC, brother. That's
absolutely
all I want to say. Welcome to the SWAC, and it's great to see you having success, man. And it's great to see what you're doing, man. I love what you're doing, man. I want to tell you that from a perspective of watching you from afar. It's always good to watch a guy come here and enjoy himself. And I'm glad you're enjoying yourself and finding success, my brother.
I appreciate that.
I just want to be. I was really high on you coming in the transfer portal. I don't know if you saw my transfer rankings because I do.
I saw it.
Yeah, so you know, I just want to say I was right. I just want to say I was right.
Hey, you know he good when he get high pitched. Then when his voice get like that, hey, he real about it.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's crazy because, like I said, I told him before I got on here that, you know, I've kept up with his interviews, and my dad had told me, you feel me, you wanted to see if I could do it in the game. So, hey,
that's
hey, you want to shout out anybody before you get out of here, man?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I just want to shout out my parents. You know, shout out Coach Harry, Coach Price, Coach Eroff, you know, taking a shot on me, giving me the opportunity. And I just want to shout out God because, you know, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for God. So
absolutely, man. Appreciate you, D. Man, keep grinding, keep working, man. We'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. Hashtag Swarmers1.
I love it, man. That's David Stewart. Breaking down the Magic City Classic. That was pretty dope how he said, you know, the play wasn't designed, you know, a certain way and he had to come in and do his thing. But hey, man, listen, we're going to keep this thing on rolling. We're going to break down another game. Very high pitch game. You know, Perry, you know, your guy. I say, behold, the Morgan State boys, they came into town and they did what they were supposed to do.
Hold on, man. Look, he's going to have to cut the light on in the room or something, man. Come on, man.
I don't know
dark
how
back
to
there in
change
that background. You got to cut that background light on or something.
I don't know how to change the background picture. That must be from the last time I was on here. How do I do that?
That man sound like he's 60. You know.
We got to see you, man. You're dark.
How do
I look?
How do I change the background? Y'all gotta help me out, man.
Help me out, Scotty.
You gotta go to settings. You gotta probably go to your own settings and
virtual background. There we go.
There you go.
We want the people to see. You gotta turn that brightness up.
You need light in front of you. Yeah,
you need that light in front. We gotta get that brightness. I see your glasses in your hat.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
We can do that.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. All right, hold on. Coming right back. I'm gonna go. I gotta go switch me a light bulb, man.
You know, I like that. Hey, Damon Stewart, listen, well-spoken young man,
absolutely,
leader.
Shout out to his parents.
You can understand why he's in the position that he's in and why he's having the success that he's having. I love having that conversation with him. I love the questions you asked, and I love hearing the response that he gave. And most of all, for anybody that's out there, the same thing that we heard from Willie Simmons last week, us hearing about people who have this outside noise about the perception of HBCUs, but to hear from a guy who came into a HBCU from the outside and now being able to see it himself and to like it and to love it and to be in a crowd bigger than any of that group of five that he went to, and to be able to put on for his school. Man, listen, I love every bit of that, man. And that young man is well-spoken. You can tell he's going to be great in life, and he's going to be great for that offense in terms of what Bama State is trying to do.
He's going to be a great advocate for Alabama State. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, he's going to be a walking mouthpiece for Alabama State, you know, going in the future and things like that. Now, I apologize that his parents had to be Marines. You know, not everybody can be in the Army. You know what I'm saying?
Don't do that, dude.
Like me and my mama, you know, like me and my mama are, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Army, you know, move is one. You already know what it is.
Don't make me use the N-word again. I'm trying to frame. I'm trying to stop.
He really got a light bulb.
He need to cut that light on, man.
He really switched out a light bulb. That's funny. That's funny.
We got to get some light on him so we can let the people know who he is.
We're trying to give you guys a breakdown from the view of the actual people involved with the game. It sounds good when me and Perry break it down, but it's even better when the people that are involved in the game of how it goes down break it down even better. So we just want to give you that for y'all, for the people in the back. You know,
you got to put that suit on, and they tell you, okay, today picture day, right?
He said like,
you know, and hey,
he DMV.
And I know I'm the D coordinator. I take my picture. Look, Scotty, look, I take my picture.
You know what I'm saying? What's up, Paul?
Is that better? And just if y'all think I'm joking, I really changed the light bulb.
Hey, it worked.
Listen,
it worked.
Man, listen, I don't have time to do anything these around this time of year, so I ain't even noticed that I got 2 light bulbs out in the basement. Didn't even notice.
That's why we here, Coach. We just here to help you out, brother.
That is exactly why we're here, Coach. But Coach, man, listen, we had Coach Odoms on here, and we had a great time talking with him. But before he left, you know me, I'm representing all day, every day. I told him the DMV coming for the dub, and you guys didn't make a liar out of me, and I appreciate it. Let me just bring up the skull for the people in the back, so they know what was going down in this mud.
Should I break this thing down and then we get into it?
Hey, go ahead and break it down for me. Go ahead and break it down for me. Coach Sewell know the breakdown, but go ahead and break it down for me.
Let's get down into it. I mean, Norfolk State up big going into the fourth quarter, and Morgan State finds a way to get motivation at Norfolk State homecoming and pull out a 32-28 victory. Morgan State in this ball game, 19 first downs. They struggled on third down, 3 of 12 on third down, but they were able to find some ways to extend drives on fourth down, 3 of 5 on fourth down, 302 total yards in this game, 155 in the air, 147 on the ground. But what Morgan State did well in this game, 0 turnovers. When you ask for that in the game, that is a great chance to put your team in a position to win. On the other side, for my guy Dawson Odoms, 18 first downs for Norfolk State. The Spartans, 5 of 14 on third down, 0 of 2 on fourth down, 343 total yards, 188 in the air, 155 on the ground, missed the defensive coordinator, but you were able to get up 2 interceptions in this game. My man for Norfolk State, 10 of 22, 175 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. RJ Baker, I know you had to watch him on film, 2 receptions for 56 yards, 1 touchdown, but on the other side for Morgan State, Carson Baker, 9 of 19, 116 yards, and J.J. Davis, 13 carries, 113 yards. What a way to get it done for Morgan State, and what a fourth quarter, second half turnaround for them to get it done. Coach, Norfolk was my dark horse, and they have continued every week when you look at it.
They get darker. They get darker every week. They're getting darker every week.
It's like they're right there, and I want to hear from your perspective, especially having to defend them, because we know they can go to the bench at the running back position with the depth to run the ball. We know that quarterback, he can run it and he can throw it at any time. But for you as a defensive coordinator, when you had to sit back and scout this team, what did you see about this Norfolk State team that kept you up to say, this is the things we got to work on?
I mean, I thought they did a great job of putting game plans together in pretty much every game that they played in. I thought they were able to move the ball effectively and be efficient. And like you said, they played a lot of people. That's one of the first things we said when we started to prepare for those guys throughout the week. Is like, hey, like, you know, so we put together kind of a starting lineup plus key players. And normally we face a team as like, you know, the starting lineup, and then it's like 1 or 2 other notable players. Well, it was the starting lineup, but then it was about 6 or 7 other notable players. Like, you know, I want to say they had maybe 7 guys with or maybe 5 guys with 25 or more carries on the year, and another 4 or 5 guys with 10 plus catches on the year. So it was like, hey, they make you defend all 53 yards of the field. Like they'll throw the ball to anybody at any given time. But I thought we had a good game plan going in. I really think that And it's funny to say this when you're a 1-5 ball team, a 1-5 ball club. It's hard to quote unquote underestimate somebody else. But when you go from playing Yale and North Carolina Central, you think like, okay, like, I mean, when you look at our non-conference schedule, we played some heavy hitters offensively, so you can kind of get the okay, now we can finally relax and rest our shoulders and let out, kind of let our guard down. And they came out striking from the beginning. I mean, the first play of the game, they went double reverse pass on us. So they showed us early on that, like, hey, we're gonna make you guys defend every inch of this field. And we had some good moments. It was really like it was either a 3-and-out or a touchdown. It seemed like the first 3 quarters of the game. Like either we came out and we just didn't give them anything, or they scored a touchdown. So it was like feast or famine for our defense. But at the end of the day, if you go back and look, and I know my guy can attest to this. See, I'm not big on yards. If you go back and look from the time I was at Bowie, and if you look at where we rank high at in the country defensively, it's always tackles for loss, turnovers, and defensive touchdowns, because those are momentum changing plays. We're talking about college football here. We're talking about young men, not professionals. A professional quarterback can throw an interception and come right back and throw a touchdown. When you start getting tackles for loss and turnovers in college, that momentum, it can carry you a long way, and it can really, really set back the other team, because it starts to get into the head of the kids. Maybe not the play caller. The play caller may stay on schedule, but that kid is thinking like, damn, I just threw an interception.
I can't make another mistake. Yeah.
Right. Now maybe I shouldn't make this throw, or that ball carrier that's been running hard, you punch that ball out. Now he's thinking like, instead of me looking to run these guys over, let me protect this ball and get down and not fight for that extra 3 or 4 yards. So, I think that, they had a great game plan. We knew that they were a good offense coming in, but we knew that, we had to create some more turnovers. And I mean, we scored 7 touchdowns on defense last year. We hadn't scored one at all this year. And I kept telling those guys, I told the guys straight up, because I mean, they read, and, I can read what everybody's saying, and everybody's trying to make it Morgan's defense versus Morgan offense. And I told those guys, I said, we averaged almost a touchdown a game on defense last year. And if it wasn't us, it was Keith returning kicks for touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so we supplemented our offense, or we put our offense in good positions all last year. We can't be mad at those guys if they don't go out and score 30 points if we make them go 90 yards every time. I said, we got to take the ball away, give them some short fields, or we got to put the ball in the end zone ourselves. I mean, that's our number one objective, is to do whatever we got to do to win the game. It may be 40-41 or maybe 3-0, but whatever it calls for, for us at that particular moment, we got to be ready to do it.
Coach, you guys are going into the game 27-10. What are you telling your defense at that point? Because, the fourth quarter, put the floors up, everybody's locked in and things like that. And then you guys get I'm watching the game and I'm just like my head is in my hand, because I'm just like, man, like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I picked like this. And then it's just play after play after play. And your defense, the one thing I love about your defense is the tenacity. Like, it never seems, whatever it goes on, they play with a tenacity, a ferociousness of it's 0-0. So just going into that fourth quarter, what did you tell your team? And then after the big pick 6 by the linebacker, how was the feeling and the vibe going after that?
Hey, Scotty, put that man's name on this screen, man, so the world will know who he is. Put that man's name on the screen. There we go.
So after they had just scored on us to open the fourth quarter, and you can tell, like, actually one of our emotional leaders, the linebacker, he shot the gap and he ended up hurting himself, and he laid on the ground. And I walked out there, and as I walk, and I never do this. Like, normally, Coach Wilson goes out in the field and checks on the guys. I took my headset off and I walked out to those guys, and I told them, I said, listen, I said, if we are who we say we are, now is the time where we got to show it. I said, this is our backs are truly against the wall. Everybody in the stadium is against us. Our own fans probably don't believe we can do it right now. I said, but we got a whole quarter left to show that we can do something. And when I after the extra point, I came to the sideline, and one of our linebackers, one of our our rotational guys, our linebackers, before I could say anything, he told the team, he said, man, we got 12 minutes to show like what we about. Like this game is far from over. And if we're going to do it, we got to do it right now. And it just so happens that we have the ultimate weapon as a kick returner. And I mean, I don't question what anybody does. But I mean, you got to be bold to kick to that kid. Like, as you can see when on the kick returns that he runs for touchdowns, like the kid doesn't break stride.
Just
he catches the ball, and once he's at full speed, it's like if you don't have a direct shot on him, like you don't have a chance to catch him. So, you know, he caught it and he made the play. And after that, like we made sure that we didn't give them anything after that. Like after that, it was 3 and out, turnover, 3 and out, turnover. You know, so again, that momentum, man, like that momentum in college football when you're dealing with young men is just so important. And we just couldn't find a way to get it in the first 3 quarters. You know, every time our offense, because our offense, even though they only scored 10 points, they were driving the ball.
Yeah.
Like we were doing a great job running the ball. You got to think we missed 2 kicks that had the distance. Then we had 1 kick that literally bounced off the crossbar. So it was like, even when we were drive, like, you know, that was 9 points that we left out there, you know, one way or another. So it was really one of those things where, like, damn, like everything that can go wrong, I mean, that can go wrong is going wrong. And like I said, man, our guys just decided, like, hey, like enough is enough. We gotta bow our necks and make a play. And I mean, they tried to end it. I mean, they were giving the ball to that running back, and he looked like I don't know if y'all guys remember the Nigerian Nightmare, Christian Okoye, but that's who he looked like running the football. He broke through the line one time, and I felt bad for one of our safeties because I'm like, this dude got to be about 260, and he got 30 yards of head start coming. And our safety got, you know, bless his heart, he tried his best to dive at the kid's legs. But so, like I said, they had all the momentum. They seem to be making the plays, and you know, it just goes to show, like, you know, we're heading in the right direction because our kids they didn't quit.
Yeah.
Coach, I want to ask you a question, especially when you talk about scouting, right? You guys, and I said the same thing with Norfolk State when it came to Morgan State. You're talking about a couple swings the other way. We're looking at Norfolk and Morgan State as perhaps right there in the thick of things of the best HBCU football teams in the nation. But I understand you're building something, a young team. It takes time. There's a process. But you guys played some teams out of the CAA, and now you get into MEAC conference play. Talk to me about scouting for a tough conference like the CAA, because we've seen the lack of success for teams like Hampton and North Carolina A&T in terms of what they have against those type of programs. What is it like for you to have to scout against those teams, and then talk about the difference of what is it like to then scout for conference play?
Well, honestly, I think we have. It's hard to say an advantage, but somewhat of an advantage facing CAA teams, even more so than conference. Because if you look, a lot of those CAA kids come from right here in the DMV. You know, a lot of the best players in the CAA come from right here in the DMV. When we play Albany, their quarterback comes from, you know, he's from Western Maryland. You know, obviously when we play Towson, they're right down the road. A lot of their kids come from here. When we go to play Richmond, you know, they have, you know, quite a few DMV kids and so on and so forth. So, you know, even when we played Stony Brook last year, they had a few kids from down here. So we're familiar with those guys. And for me personally, like just being completely transparent, for me personally, it's a challenge because, I mean, we're still dealing with the stigma of we're less than as coaches. You know, like, and you know, and I'm sure when you guys, you know, get an opportunity to interview Coach Wilson, he'll tell you, like, there's a different look that I get when we face those teams, because for me, it's an opportunity just to show, like, hey, like, we can prepare our kids and put together a game plan just as well as you can, you know, and that's something that's a stigma that we're fighting against as HBCU coaches and Black coaches, in general, when we face our you know, counterparts at some of those PWIs. And you know, we went toe to toe with every CAA school we played, you know, and I think that most people we were obviously a underdog in all of those. Okay, my guy KJ, yeah. we were obviously an underdog in every one of those games, and we beat Richmond, and we were literally 1 yard away from beating Albany. So
let's not even talk about the Alcorn game.
Yeah,
Let's not even talk about the Akron game.
Yeah. But it's funny, first of all, hold up, before I stop, Perry, this is my first time meeting you, but I gotta say, like, I got a lot of respect for you because this is the quietest I've ever seen Scotty on any interview. So the fact that he actually takes a back seat and lets you lead on some of these interview questions, like, you got to be that dude. Like, I just want you to know that you got to be that dude. So,
I appreciate that, man. There's a lot of respect between us and me and Scotty.
That's good
and
stuff,
it's a lot
man.
of respect on you, man. And we want to thank you
for coming
being on here, because these are questions that typically, you get the politically correct, but I think a lot of people really want to know the real. And in this day and age, people tend to watch what the real is, and what you're giving us is the real. It's the insight that people want to hear. You hear the coaches talk all the time, but for you to break this thing down and tell us, and then to use and say, listen, them PWIs don't respect us. The fact that we have to go in there and we got to work hard. And the same thing I asked Willie Simmons last week, and it's the same thing to you. You got to work 100 times harder just to prove your worth as a coordinator, as a coach, and to show that you at a low resource institution, able to have success, but yet you'll get overlooked by a white guy at a PWI that nearly has to deal with nothing like you have to deal with in order to have success on the football field.
No doubt, man. I mean, and like I said, it's something that we've been facing for a long time. And I try not to reference back to things that were done, when I was at Bowie. But the fact of the matter is, that's a part of my resume. Yeah. If you go back and look, we were scheduling them and we were beating them on a consistent basis. When we were making our run, we were beating them in the regular season and in the playoffs. Couldn't beat Valdosta, but everybody else we played, we put foot to them. So it goes to show, and we were underfunded and didn't have the same amount of scholarships and those kind of things. So when we're facing these teams, man, it's important for me and for our guys as well, because when you're talking about guys having aspirations of playing on the next level, those are the games they're gonna watch.
Yeah.
And make no bones about it. Those are the games that they're going to watch first. And that's not to say that that's better competition, because, we face players every weekend in MEAC that have the ability to play on the next level. I mean, you look at the Hargrave that just signed with the 49ers, got the big deal with the 49ers from South Carolina State. You look at Darius Leonard. You look at I hate to even bring up somebody from the Cowboys, but Marquise Bell, from the Cowboys, that's from FAMU. So there are a lot of quality HBCU football players that are now playing, in the NFL. Jacoby Durant, Josh. What's my guy from Fayetteville? Josh Williams. Josh, and we played against him 3 straight years in the CIAA championship game. But you'll still have people tell you that those games against, the Albanys and the Richmonds and the Akrons of the world hold more weight. Yet this kid just started for a Super Bowl championship team last year.
Yep.
So it sucks that stigma and that stereotype is still out there. But like I tell people all the time, and I tell my coaches, I tell my players all the time, like, I spend less time dealing with what should be and I spend more time dealing with what is. And the fact of the matter is, those are the games that they're going to measure us, in. And so we got to make sure that we put our best foot forward. It's unfortunate that, again, we only won one, but like you said, we are a few yards and a few seconds away from being 5-3 instead of being 5-2 instead of being 2-5. So
yeah. Real quick, real easy. Well, Coach, listen, we appreciate your time, Coach. We're going to let you get up out of here. I know you got a big game against Dell State.
Hold on, Scotty. I got to ask him. I saw it in the chat. I got to ask him. And you can answer it or not. What was the little thing underneath the stadium between the team and the band? Can I ask you about that? Do you have any clarification for anybody out there?
I can't really speak on it. I'll just say that, I mean, we know it's always 3 sides to a story. At the end of the day, it's unfortunate that it was such a great game. It's unfortunate that anything had to take away from the attention of the game. But you know, I'm not at liberty to speak on it. And in reality, I wouldn't want to even take away, like, man, our kids scored 22 points in the fourth quarter. Our freshman quarterback Todd Smith came in with no, he hadn't touched the football in live action the whole game. He came in and drove us down for a game-winning touchdown, you know, to complete the comeback. And, you know, I'm hoping that, you know, once everything comes out, that, you know, the attention can get back on what our kids did on the field versus, you know, anything that may have happened off the field.
Yeah, and I wanted to touch on the Todd Smith situation. You know, is he going to be in snaps? I know, you know, offense is not your thing, but, you know, as a coach and as a group of coaches, is that something you guys are going to look on, see how we can get Todd Smith more involved in packages, you know, Dominique, you know, because you guys have been playing the QB carousel with Carson, Dominique, and other quarterbacks. Is Todd going to be kind of pushed into that quarterback carousel, or how's that going?
Well, Taj can't play safety or corner, so I cannot tell you what Taj is going to do in the game. I will tell you this: Taj is a kid that I had the opportunity to recruit, coming from you know, a local private school right here in PG County. You know, Taj has a athletic background. His dad played baseball in college. His brothers played baseball in college. So the fact that kid went out and did what he didn't surprise me at all. And he has a bright future. And I know that whenever, you know, Coach Wilson and Coach Sherman do decide to hand him the keys to it, you know, full time, no doubt in my mind he's going to be ready.
All right, Coach. Listen, I appreciate you, man. Listen, you don't understand how much I appreciate y'all coming out with that dub.
Nice to meet you, Coach, man. I enjoyed every bit of your answers, man.
Same to you, big dog.
I'm gonna be out there. What y'all got? Y'all got the Howard? I'm gonna be at the. I don't know, Delaware State. Y'all gonna beat them. I'm gonna be at the Howard J though. I'm gonna be at the Howard J. I'm gonna be at the Howard J. I'm gonna stop by. I'm gonna see what y'all talking about out there. You know what I'm saying?
Should be informal. Hey, man, did you cut your hair?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I was tripping. Cause see, look, now I'm gonna be real while I got you. I had to unfollow you on Twitter because I cannot do Twitter. I can't do Twitter beefs no more. I'm mature now. I'm older. No, you don't beef with me, but you are like you always throwing a match in the fire. And so me being a reformed Twitter debater, I said, you know what? I can't see your topics come across my timeline all day because it's like I want to jump in, but I'm like,
I gotta be reserved. I'm reformed.
So I still see you on my For You tab, but not on my following tab. But you know, I mean, but you know, when you text me, I responded right away. So you're still my guy, but I just can't. I can't, like, you know, I gotta love you from a distance now.
Hey, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta do that with family. You know, you know, that's why me love over here.
It's a word I want to use for him, Coach, but I won't use it while you on here.
Okay, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. I don't want to get nobody in no trouble.
Hey, appreciate it, Coach Sewell. Hey, y'all keep doing your thing, and I'll see you at the Howard game.
I appreciate you, big
dog. Thank you, Coach.
All right, man. Shout out to Coach Sewell. Man, we're gonna keep this thing on rolling, and we're gonna knock these interviews out. Last but not least, man, we gotta talk about this one. We gotta bring this guy on, the main man, the big time, big dog, Jeremy Musa. Listen, Mr. Primetime FAMU starting quarterback of FAMU, Jeremy Musa. Hey, Moose, what's going on with you, man?
What's up? How are you guys?
We're doing fine, man. How about yourself?
Doing good.
Jeremy, I got the first question. I just want to know, what is your ethnic background?
I'm Mexican and Egyptian.
Whoa.
I don't think the SWAC ever seen that before.
They have not.
I just wanted to ask that. Scotty is on. I just wanted to know, when I heard Musa, I'm like, wait, that's some heritage behind that one right there.
Got a lot of stuff in that. Got a lot of stuff in that.
Like,
Moose. Yeah, Musa's Egyptian.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's what I'm talking about. I want to know.
You know, Moose, let's get into it, man. 45-7, your homecoming. You show up, you show out. I mean, the first quarter, man, I don't know who embodied you. You was just out there throwing darts. Talk about the game, talk about the environment, and just talk about how, you know, the whole experience of homecoming at your time at Bragg.
Yeah, no, I mean, everyone was looking forward to it. You know, I think we were about a month long hiatus from playing at home, so everyone was looking forward to it. Everyone knows homecoming is going to be a great environment. You know, a lot of people. So it doesn't get any better than that. And, you know, I thought the offense did a great job of coming out, starting fast. The defense, you know, made some plays, got the ball back for us that allowed us to, you know, put a lot of points up on the board. So it was a lot of fun to be back home and get a big win.
Moose, I gotta ask you. It's a lot of, when it comes to being a quarterback, it feels like FAMU quarterbacks are kind of like Dallas Cowboy quarterbacks, where they get a lot of praise, but they also get a lot of criticism from platforms like me, your fans and alums. How do you process it? Do you hear it? And if you do hear it, how do you process that going forward? Like, of just, reading the tabloids or reading the headlines or whatever you do and moving through it.
Yeah, well, first, I mean, I try not to look at that stuff. You know, at the end of the day, you know, it's not really going to help me achieve, you know, my goals, or, you know, it's not going to help me do my job on the field. You know, people are going to say what they want to say, you know, and at times, you know, I could agree 100% with them. Of course, there's things that I want to get better at. There's things that every player on the field wants to get better at, and, you know, but the quarterback position is going to have, you know, that microscope where everything you do is going to be, it's going to be put under there, and it's going to be judged. But that's what comes with the position. That's why I love it. You know, I get the ball in my hands every play, and I get to affect the outcome of every single game that I play in. So what more could I ask for? You know, like I said, there's things that I have to get better at. You know, I'm actively working on those things every single day. You know, I'm my own worst critic. So there's nothing that anyone else is going to tell me that, you know, I haven't already, you know, went through with myself and I'm trying to get better at.
Let me tell you something. One of my boys went to Prairie View. He called me Sunday. He was pissed off, Jeremy. He said, man, I done gave up on Prairie View football. I almost gave up on SWAC football. That just lets me know the type of whooping that y'all put up on Prairie View, and they was not ready for it. And I'm going to break the game down a little bit for the fans that's out there so they can understand the type of whooping that you guys did. 45-7, 14 first downs for Prairie View in this ball game, 5 of 17 on third downs. Prairie View only able to muster up 220 yards total, 93 passing, 127 on the ground, 3 interceptions. Trayvon Conley in this ball game. But you look on the other side for FAMU, 17 first downs, 5 of 10 on third down, 453 yards, 272 in the air, 181 on the ground, 2 turnovers in this game, an interception, a fumble. For you, Jeremy Musa, 14 of 25, 272 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Your boy Yance, 3 carries, 63 yards, and your boy Jennings, 7 carries, 54 yards and a touchdown. On the other side, Prairie View struggled. Trayvon Conley, Scotty, you and I have talked about him. Yeah. This was a horrible game for Conley. 9 of 24, only 93 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. And when you look against Scotty, you know who stood out for me in this game? Prairie View's punter. You know why? Because FAMU was making his ass kick the ball all day. 7 punts for 252 yards, as long as the 50 yards. Jeremy Musa, how do you keep yourself in this offense when you look at now a running game with Yance and Jennings? And then, of course, you have Zay is no longer there, the X-Man, right? But how do you find yourself in this offense being comfortable finding new weapons in order to be a part of your, as I say, your toys on this offense? Because you're the quarterback. These guys are your toys, and you have to be comfortable in order to get the ball to them.
Yeah, I think that started, you know, back in January at the beginning of the year. You know, we got some new guys, brought them in on campus, Jamari Gassett being one of those big transfers. You know, we had guys like Manigo and K-Dot, you know, who I got to play with last year and developed a good relationship with. So we really just hit the ground running. And then, you know, we got a big addition in the summer with Marcus Riley. So just try to, you know, fast track that process as much as you can. You know, Marcus was, you know, a little banged up at times in fall camp. So just trying to really get that, you know, going on the run as fast as you can. But, you know, it makes my job easy when you have talented guys like that out wide. You know, I tell them all the time, you know, the ball's going to come to who it's supposed to, right? So whoever's on the field, it doesn't matter. As long as you do your job and the defense is going to dictate where the ball goes. So just because so and so's in or so and so's in, it doesn't really matter. All you guys are going to get the ball. It's going to be spread around, and I think that shows every Saturday, and all of them can make plays with it.
No, I agree, because it's always somebody, if it's not Nick Dixon, if it's Kareem Burke, if it's Marcus Riley, it's always a different guy that is a headliner for your offense. Let me ask you this, Musa. You've seen the SEC. Mm-hmm. You've played, you've had the Vanderbilt experience. You now have FAMU Bragg. What are some of the differences in what you've seen and just the style of play, the environments? What can you speak towards coming from the SEC into the SWAC?
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of parallels. Of course, there's some things that are different. SEC is, the biggest, most competitive conference in college football, and there's a lot of money thrown into that conference. I think we have just as great environments in the SWAC that I've played in. Maybe not to the sheer size of some of those stadiums, but it's a great environment every time we play at home. It's probably just as rowdy as those games. I'd be willing to bet, especially last Saturday. I think in the SEC, there's obviously great players. There's a bunch of great players in the SWAC too, but I think the biggest thing that I took from my time in the SEC and try to bring it here to FAMU, and this is something that Coach Simmons talks about a lot too, is not beating yourself, because at that level you can't afford to beat yourself. You're trying to go out and beat the other team, and he talks about in the NFL, oftentimes it's not that a team went out and won the game. It's that the other team beat themselves by, too many self-inflicted mistakes. And that's something that we can continue to get better at each weekend.
I like that. And most of all, for me, you coming to the SWAC, you getting the opportunity to see HBCU football. What would you tell any guy out there? Because, of course, you chose SEC and then made the transition. But what would you tell a guy that's out there that has that balance of, I don't really want to go to HBCU. Why go HBCU when I'm trying to go Group of 5 or Power 5? What would you tell them? What's so special that you've seen from your own experience about HBCU football and FCS football?
Yeah, well, what's special to me, was being given the opportunity, right? I wasn't given the opportunity at my prior institution, for whatever reason it may be. So I'm thankful to, first and foremost, Coach Simmons and Coach Black. I just saw that, he posted that little comment. I appreciate it, Coach. But for giving me the opportunity, first and foremost, to be able to come here and, live out my dream of being a D1 collegiate quarterback. And I think, to add on to that, the relationships that I've built with my teammates and my coaches, even professors on campus, I really enjoyed my time here at FAMU. And not to say that, I haven't had great relationships with my, former teammates or teachers or whatnot. But I think that, there's a lot of people that want to help you here, especially at FAMU. There's a lot of people that are going to give their time and effort and try and make your experience as good as it can be. And I think that's something that, is worth telling to people. And I think it's important to also tell people that, wherever you play, whether it be Power 5, Group of 5, FCS, Division 1, whatever, your ultimate goal is to get on the field. And if there's a coach that's willing to go to bat for you, if there's a coach that's willing to help you through, trials and tribulations and ultimately stick with you and give you the not benefit of the doubt, because you have to earn it, but to let you grow as a player and as a person, that's all you can ask for as a player. So.
No, I like it. And let me ask you this, because I got a text from Coach KJ Black. He said he's going to be on you next time we talk to you. That's what I don't know. I don't know if that's your inside thing, if that's y'all thing, but let me talk. I want to know your relationship with Willie. I talked to Willie about you, and I want to know from your perspective, because people have called Willie Simmons a QB whisperer. What makes him, in your opinion, you guys' relationship? Because the one thing I've seen is that he just grows with his quarterbacks, Ryan Stanley, Rashawn McKay, now you. With your relationship, what makes Willie a QB whisperer, in your opinion?
Yeah, well, first off, he knows what it's like to be in our shoes. He not only did he basically took the same path as me, transferred from a Power 5 institution to go play FCS ball and did really well for himself. But, just being a quarterback in general, he understands, what it takes to play the position. He understands, the pressure, the the standard of what it takes every day to prepare, and just the overall mindset that you have to have. So, he brings that to our group every day, and I try to, further instill that into all the rest of the guys in our room. But I think he does a great job of game planning for the type of players that he has on the field. The offense, might have looked a little different from 2021 going into 2022, with Rashawn versus me, or even maybe Ryan Stanley. I didn't get an opportunity to watch all of their film, but I know he's going to tailor it to what we do well. And then not to mention, the guys that are surrounding me, who do we have in the backfield? Who do we have out wide? He's going to try and create a game plan that gets the playmakers the ball as much as he can. And then I think on top of it too is just the way that we have a great relationship with him, just person to person, right? In our quarterback room, we have a lot of fun every single day. We keep it light, but when it's time to go to work, we go to work, and we still have fun while we do it. So I think all those components play into it, and ultimately, I think we make each other better. I might have an idea, he might have an idea. We're working together to try and create the best outcome for our team.
I love it.
Can I ask you one last question? This question is about your home field advantage. What makes Bragg Memorial Stadium one of the toughest places to play in all of the country, and the fact that you guys have had endless success there? What is it about Bragg?
Yeah, well, I think for us, Coach always says, the next game's the most important game. So whether we're playing home or away, that's our mindset going into it. And of course, we have, some of the best fans in the country, best fans in the SWAC for sure. And you make that comparison to the SEC. Those are a lot of hostile environments. I played in a couple of those, and the fans are constantly going at you the whole game. And I think that's what we have when we play at home. The student section's right behind the away team, and they're giving it to them the whole game. So it can be tough, and especially if we're playing well like we have been, it can make it even worse. That stuff starts to get to your head. So I think it's just a combination of all that. And then, of course, I think everyone just plays with a little more pride when they're at home. They got to defend their home turf, and it's familiar too. It's something you see every day. So you don't have to really get, used to something new.
Last question, Musa. I've talked to a couple of your FAMU players. They talk so highly about you. They just say, Musa doesn't get high, doesn't get low. He's just Moose. When you leave, when you step away from FAMU and you go off and do big things, what do you want your players, the people you play with, the alums, what do you want them to know about Musa? What are your teammates going to say about you?
Yeah, I hope, that they say that, I'm just a respectful person, on and off the field, that I treat everyone with respect, whether you're the janitor or you're the president of the institution, treat everyone the same. But on the field, that I'm a competitor. I love to compete. Ultimately, that's what brought me to FAMU. I talked about, I had to figure out what I wanted to do, before I made that transition here to FAM. Did I still want to play? But ultimately, I knew I love football. I love to compete. So I hope that they would say I'm a great competitor. And I think that shows, even, if I had a little bit of a bumpy start or whatever it may be, I feel like whenever the pressure's on, I come through, and that's when I thrive. I love the pressure. Like I said, that's why I love to play quarterback. You get to control it, and I thrive in those situations.
What's your major, man? What are you majoring in?
I'm getting my MBA right now, so that's what I'm doing this year. Last year, I did our sports management master's program.
And that's big time.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, man. You well spoken, man. I love. What day does the union jump at FAMU? What day is the day when you go in the union? You be like, boy, do you see that thing right there, boy? What day is it? Monday through what day?
What day for what? Say that again.
Oh, Lord. When you go in the union, you be like, boy, do you see that thing right there, boy? What day at FAMU? Because at Southern is Wednesday. They call it Pretty Wednesday, but at FAMU, I don't know what day they do that. What day does the union?
I wouldn't even know. I don't be on campus like that.
That's what I'm talking about. That was a trick question. You answered that right. That's why
you might have to ask someone else.
He's gonna be successful in life. I like that.
Oh my goodness, man. Hey, Musa, listen to this man. Appreciate
Musa, I like you, brother.
Congratulations on your SWAC East Championship. I hope you guys stay focused and locked in. And I've said it multiple times. FAMU can only beat FAMU at the end of the day. Would you guys stay locked in? Keep doing what you're doing, man. Appreciate your time, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
appreciate you. Man, you trying to get this man. You trying to get this man hemmed up and
You
stuff.
know, it's something I know on Wednesday, boy, you can't go wrong, right?
Oh,
You can't go wrong on Wednesday, right? You just can't go wrong with. I know at FAMU, I had a good time the last time I went to Tallahassee. So I know he the big man on campus, but when you're working on your masters, you're doing things. That's why I wanted to ask him, man. That's great to see that he's doing this thing on and off the field. And most importantly, what I think what we don't normally get a chance to see, Scotty, is the interaction of the guys, because we hear student athlete, we think about athlete, but student first. And I think he went to Vanderbilt. Does anybody know how hard it is to get to Vanderbilt?
It ain't easy. It damn sure it ain't easy.
I just want to start there. Like, do you know how hard it is to get to Vanderbilt? So that young man got his head on right. And I'm glad he answered that the way that he did, because he showed he's going to be successful in life. And I like Jeremy Moose.
Facts. All right, listen. Let's get to these recaps, right? We're gonna try to run through these recaps, get you to the next week and show what's going on. But first, man, first of all, I'm one game back. I'm still
in the race for the Celebration Bowl, baby.
I just want to let you know I'm one game back. Shout out to AWMS. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Appreciate you so much. I was one game away from going 11-0, and it was there. It was.
And you know what game it was? What game was it?
It was y'all's game.
You text me with the. We'll get there.
Yeah. We sure enough did.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. There you go. Right there. I was. That's it. That's the only X for me. Okay. Now you know what I'm saying. Now your boy over here. He over here with that. Behold, they got that ass whoop. That's what they got that ass whoop. Behold. Okay, DMV came through as always, and we both picked Hampton, Tennessee State. You know what I'm saying? Do what we do. But we gotta start off with the Thursday night killer.
The what? The Thursday night what?
The Thursday night killer.
And why you put damn on there?
That's all you can say. Bro, are you kidding me? I'm watching this game. I'm like, are you shitting me? 60. It was 41 at half. Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's all you can say is damn. That's all you can say is damn. And the fact that Trey Oliver did this to Buddy Pugh. And also Davis Richard stayed in the game all the way to the fourth quarter. I know he's on his Senior Bowl thing, you know what I'm saying? So I get it. I definitely get it. But
goddamn. I thought you said you got rid of that.
Oh, that's what you talking about?
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, I didn't know what you was talking about.
Look at it. He brought it out now. You want me to jump right into this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Listen, the ass whooping. Damn. You should have put 5 exclamation marks behind damn, because I don't think one explains it enough. 21-0 midway through the first quarter. When you looked at this game, South Carolina State completely got outmatched. You would have thought they played an SEC team in this game. South Carolina State, don't laugh at me, Scotty. 2 of 12 on third downs. They were able to put up 318 yards. But you know what? We talked about Corey Fields. Where was he this game?
Man.
81 passing yards for the Bulldogs in this one. 237 yards on the ground. They had 2 fumbles. You run the ball that much, you're probably susceptible to cough up the ball on the other side for the Eagles, right? The Eagles. I just want y'all to know who flying around here. It's the Eagles. 8 of 13 on third down, 482 total yards, 352 in the air, 130 on the ground. They had 2 turnovers in this game, a fumble and an interception. Corey Fields Jr., 7 of 16, 81 yards. Passing, 2 touchdowns. Juwan Howell, listen. That's South Carolina State's offense right here. 9 carries, 126 yards, 1 touchdown. On the other side, Davius Richards, 18 of 27, 352 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, ladies and gentlemen, to 1 interception. He also had, do y'all not even understand this man's stats? I will go back because I don't think nobody understands this man's stats. Davius Richards, 18 of 27, 352 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception. If that wasn't enough, 5 carries for 26 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. What can you ask for better of an impact player? You ever play NCAA? College football?
I used to love that game.
You know that dude that get the glowing? I don't care who the hell try to tackle him. It's
Can't
over
do
with
nothing with
for
him.
you. He's
Can't
the
do nothing with
impact player. Davius Richards, the impact player. Devin Smith, 4 receptions, 103 yards and a touchdown. And Jamar Taylor, 4 receptions, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. North Carolina Central could not be stopped. Trey Oliver, brother, you are the man in black college football. Your team stood up and really showed what it's like to be number one. And this is how you get it done, especially against what we call the old ball coach.
Yeah.
And Buddy Pugh, this is how you send him out. You left a shoe up his ass on the way out the door.
Because you know he had never beaten Buddy. He had never beaten Buddy.
And this is how you beat him?
Listen, if I'm Buddy Pugh, man, I'm looking like, damn, I should have left after the Celebration Bowl. I should have left after the Celebration Bowl. I should have just rolled off into the sunset in the Celebration Bowl and just done my thing. Tennessee State 43, Lindenwood 20, Draylon Ellis, very modest game, 9 of 14, 236 yards and a touchdown. Deshaun Davis, wide receiver, 5 receptions, 200 yards, 1 touchdown, 90-yard touchdown play by Deshaun Davis. It's S-H-O-N, my bad. And Lindenwood, Tyler Kubat, 713, 114, 114 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Listen, Tennessee State has just been rolling. Absolutely rolling. What you got, Perry?
You know, I was a little hesitant when we talked about this game. I ended up picking it right. I'm glad I did. Tennessee State has shown that this program is elevated quietly. They don't have the big noise that Deion Sanders had when he had success at Jackson State. But this is quiet on the Tigers, the Tennessee State fans about showing up to games, right?
Absolutely.
And he has all the right to say, where the hell are y'all? We're winning games. We're doing what's supposed to be asked of a program. And where are you to support the student athletes, right? Lindenwood in this game, 5 of 14 on third down. They had 17 first downs, 287 total yards, 221 passing, 66 rushing, 2 interceptions this game. On the other side for Tennessee State, 20 first downs, 6 of 14 on third downs, 466 total yards, 298 in the air, 168 on the ground. They had 1 fumble. Listen. Deshaun Davis, 5 receptions, 200 yards, and a touchdown. My God, you talking about an impact player, a game changer? Tennessee State fans, I'm calling you out like your coach did. Right here. This is one of the best black college football teams in the nation. This Absolutely. Is one of the teams that can possibly get to the FCS playoffs. And if you don't show up and support this team, to hell with you, and you wonder why you can't keep a coach, you wonder why the program is going to struggle because you won't support it. And when you got a man like this with the name that he has, and you see the success at Jackson State with Deion Sanders, support this man, because in a few short years, he has put you in a position that you have not been in quite some time. One of the best HBCU football teams in the nation and one of the best FCS football teams, period, point blank, in the Big South Ohio Valley Conference. Support this man, support this team, donate, give your money to this program, and goddamn it, show up to the games.
Perry, I mean, you've told me on numerous occasions that it's not about the football. So why call out the fans? They're just doing what HBCU fans do. I'm confused.
Look. There's a difference between. Once again, we all not the same. All right, we're all not the same.
Well, you say everybody like the pageantry. That's what you said. So,
and that's one of the problems that we see with the Tennessee States, North Carolina A&Ts, the Hamptons. When you leave the neighborhood and you want to go to the other neighborhood, you don't quite get the same outing at the barbecue like you used to. Unfortunately, don't laugh. You know, them cousins be like, boy, I ain't going over. They pull folks over all day in that neighborhood. We ain't finna go over there and get my ass pulled over. You know what I'm saying? You know that side of town, they be like, nah, the police too heavy over there.
Yeah, I got that box Chevy. They gonna stop me just because.
Because you coming through beating down the damn block. Cut that damn 612 in the trunk down, man. Can't be coming up there with them guns up loud like that. And that that tent too damn dark. All right, hey, you know what I'm talking about, and everybody else. But that's what comes with that. A&T fans complained once they left the MEAC to go to the CAA. We don't have the same, and when it comes to the teams, Hampton, I don't really know, right? I don't think they ever really just showed up unless it was Howard. But for Tennessee State, being in that conference, playing these type of teams, it don't create the excitement that I know they want. But still, man, if your team is winning, Tennessee State, show me what kind of fan base you are. I don't know. But let me know what you are when you got a team that's one of the best in the nation, top 5 in HBCU, and you got a superstar coach. First of all, a superstar coach. Need
Facts.
I say more?
Facts. And let me give a quick shout out to my guy, SWAC Football Live. Listen, if you have any trouble watching the games, take your ass to YouTube. He got SWAC Football Live, Live 2, Live 3. He got it all, okay? Listen, I don't promote bootlegging, but the SWAC Digital Network ain't shit. So you might as well take your ass to SWAC Football Live. Go ahead and subscribe so you can get all the updates on the games. He play all them jokers, all right? So
that's what I watch Sunday at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Listen.
I need to recap after my long Saturdays. That's where I'm at, recapping games.
Listen, so go ahead over there and subscribe already. Tell them Scotty sent you. You know what I'm saying? And just tell me, just say thank you, Scotty. That's all you gotta do. Say thank you, SWAC Football Live. Thank you, Scotty. All right, let's get it going. Listen, man. I don't know what you want when it comes to playing Valley. It's just like, it's Valley. Alcorn does what they do. Alcorn 24, Valley 3. And I'm gonna keep saying this. People were listen. I know I sound like a hater, right? Because people say, "Oh, Scotty, you're hating." People were really high on the kid Ty Jamarian from Valley. If you know what you know, and if you know what you're looking at, the kid is just too raw right now to really put a lot on him. And I think he threw for like 68 yards or 80 yards, something's wild like that. So Alcorn came in there and did what Alcorn was supposed to do. I'm willing to move forward because it ain't really nothing to talk about Alcorn. We'll talk about the next game, coming up. But if you want to talk about Perry, I'm good.
I gotta talk about it because Alcorn is hot right now. I don't know if you ever played beer pong before.
Yeah, I love beer pong. I don't play with beer.
You hit 2 shots, you heating up. You hit 3 shots, you on fire.
Redemption.
Hey, Alcorn is on fire with balls back. If no homo. If you know what I'm talking about, pause. When I'm talking about beer pong, that's Alcorn. 385 yards in this game, 171 passing, 214 on the ground. They starting to seem like they getting it on the ground. A guy like Jarvion Howard, 13 carries, 97 yards, 1 touchdown. Aaron Allen, he is put into rest of the Macon kid, right? I know everybody in preseason was yelling out Tyler Macon. Aaron Allen is transcending 17 of 25. He had 1 interception in this game, but 6 carries for 25 yards, 1 touchdown in this ball game. I like what Alcorn has been able to do, and they're getting it done, and they're winning. Valley, unfortunately, did not show up in this ball game. Struggled on third downs, 2 of 13, only able to muster up 163 total yards, 65 passing, 98 rushing. This ain't the Valley we saw against UAPB. This is Valley when you see them playing against formidable opponents in the conference, and Alcorn is showing why they're right there tied first in the SWAC West.
Congratulations. Now let's get to this game.
Oh, goddamn.
Now I'm gonna be very clear.
That's what you were saying.
Let me make myself very clear. I got a text message in the beginning of the fourth quarter. Somebody told me, Scotty, we losing. Rube texted me in the third quarter and was like, Scotty, we losing. I said, what? Then I got another text in the fourth quarter and said y'all was losing 10-7 and then 17-7 with 5 minutes left to go. I'm like,
see, instead of texting you, they should have been watching the game.
I'm like, this is about to be my upset pick of the year right here. And then, listen, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I got a text, said, hey, Scotty, we tied it up. We kicked it into overtime. I said, Texas Southern's gonna lose. And listen, I don't care. Listen, I've watched enough football. If you're the team that makes the rally, now I'll tell you this, and I'm gonna be if Andrew plays this game, you guys get blown out again. you get blown out again. It's very simple. And I just want to be very clear. Y'all not what y'all think y'all are, because whatever, whoop-de-whoop. So, but they don't have Ladarius Owens is great. He's an absolute stud, but he's not. He's everything, but he's not everything, right? Like you need a quarterback to make a play, and they needed Andrew to just make one play to get this game over with, and they didn't have it. Southern makes the rally. Once they made the rally, I said, you don't have enough energy. You don't have enough playmakers to overcome that momentum, like Coach Sewell said, and Southern ends up winning. But listen, once again, you're not playing your best ball coming down to the end of the season. And the mere fact that you keep throwing these Bamas up in power rank is just baffling to me. But continue. This is your you can ride.
And I'll talk about that when we get there. But you know, a win is a win. Even the big, bad, toughest teams in the nation sometimes play against that little bitty school that you think did not have a chance, and they take you down to the wire. It happens. It is football, and that's the beauty of college football. The game have to be played, and it ain't about the name on the jersey, on the helmet. You got to go out there and you got to close it out. It was not pretty for Southern in this one, and I will say I had to holler at my guy Andrew Body before the game. Before Texas Southern came out, he was in his regular clothes. He had his shades on, Scotty. Look, he had his shades. He was cool, Mo Deep. I had to shake his hand. I said, man, it's just good to see you out here. But other than that, Texas Southern put up one hell of a fight, dominated the game against Southern University. You look at this game, 26 first downs for Texas Southern in this ball game, 6 of 13 on third down, 443 total yards, 140 in the air, 303 on the ground, right? 3 turnovers, 2 fumbles, an interception on the other side for Southern, 11 first downs in this game. Southern struggled on third downs. And I'm going to tell you why when we get to the quarterback of this ball game for Southern. Southern 3 of 13 on third downs, 201 yards total. You want to know how many passing yards, ladies and gentlemen? Only 58 passing yards for the Jaguars in this ball game. 143 yards total, rushing, 2 turnovers, 1 interception, 1 fumble. You remember when I told you, like basketball, when you look at a team, when they shoot their free throw percentages, and when you look at overall turnovers in the game, that typically can tell you where the game goes. Do you know what Texas Southern's penalties were in this game? 16 penalties, ladies and gentlemen, for 143 yards.
That's crazy.
Let me rewind it. Y'all in here, remember, say a little louder for the people in the back. When you got 3 turnovers and 16 penalties for 143 yards, and if you was at this game and you watched it, did you watch Texas Southern in the red zone? Matter of fact, did you watch Texas Southern on the goal line?
Oh, my God.
Watch what happened that stalled out drives in which Texas Southern could have took full advantage of this ball game.
They didn't
Texas
even
Southern could have pulled away.
Oh, that doesn't make any sense why McKinley didn't kick field goals. I'm so sorry. Go ahead, finish.
And I feel you because you picked them to win in this game, so I feel you. And not only that, when we talk about one of those turnovers was a scoop and score late in the fourth quarter that actually gave Southern an opportunity in this ball game. Jace Wilson, 16 of 23, 140 yards, 1 interception in this ball game. He also had 10 carries, 33 yards, 1 touchdown. Listen, a man. Y'all understand what MAN is? Ladarius Owens, 36 carries, 244 yards. I watched him eat us up all night, but it wasn't enough. On the other side, this is what pissed Jaguar fans off, watching the struggle from the quarterback position, because I was one of them and I was all over the stadium. Scotty, you know what? I went and sat in the stands amongst the people late in the fourth quarter to rally the Jaguars back. Okay? I was in the stands with my people. It was people ready to leave. I said, go back to your seats. It's something to see here. They was ready to leave and bail out on me, Scotty. I had to bring them hope. And I can understand why they lost it when you got a quarterback, Harold Blood, 8 of 26, only for 58 yards passing. My God, who does that? And an interception. But Kendrick Grimes, the savior of the day, 11 carries, 136 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And let me tell you, Southern has the best kicker in the SWAC, maybe FCS. When you can kick a 54-yard field goal with the pressure on you, you a bad mother. Shut your mouth. All right?
That was a big time kick. I can't even fake on it.
8 seconds left in the game. Southern found a way in overtime to get it done. Defense stepped up big. Shout out to Coach Miller and his defense holding Texas Southern out of the end zone. Texas Southern misses the field goal, and Southern goes in, and Kendrick Grimes just carries that momentum right into overtime late and able to get into the end zone. Southern, I think, listen, I don't know if Eric Dooley got a rabbit foot in his pocket. I don't know if he got a little leprechaun at home. I don't know.
He hiding in the basement.
I don't know what Skittles he eating over the rainbow. But Scotty, it's work. And no way when you look at these stats, set down 17-7 late in the fourth quarter, didn't anybody see what this was going to turn out to be a win for Southern? Because I damn sure didn't, but I was trying to keep people engaged. There was something about believing. And listen, A.W. Mumford Stadium, if you've never seen it, when the fans erupt, it was an electric place to be after a win. But guess what? Although we got the win, the fans are still on Eric Dooley's ass because guess what? You're the offensive guy. We watched the offense struggle, and there's no way you can go and allow Harold Blood to have the type of game that he had against the type of opponent and sit back and think that was acceptable. And there's no way you're going to sit in a press conference and talk to the fans and tell them that this is fixable, that this is something that we'll work on. 8 of 26 for 58 yards, and everybody that saw Harold Blood, you made him uncomfortable having to sit in the pocket because once again, he eyes down his receivers. He doesn't believe in timing. And if he don't see you open, he's going to hold the ball all night and get his ass sacked. And that's what happened in this game.
I think, and I had a whole conversation with another Southern alum. I said, I think Harold Blood gets a lot of trash thrown on him, but it's not his fault. I've talked to players, I've talked to parents who are former participants of Dooley at PV, and I've talked to former quarterbacks who have played for Dooley, and they said Dooley tells them where to go with the ball. And if you're the offensive coordinator and you're telling your quarterback where he's supposed to go with the ball and being dictated by, that means it falls on you. So if you're telling the quarterback he needs to go here with the ball and you're making him stare it down, even if it's not there, then it's on you. And I'm gonna say this again: Harold Blood is an upgrade over Bashawn McCray. People can say whatever they want. Harold Blood is not as bad as Bashawn McCray. The issue that I have with Harold Blood and Dooley is making him uncomfortable by the stuff that he calls. And what's sick, listen, go back and watch the A&M game. That is the style of play that Harold Blood needs to have. Quick game, slants, hitches, drags, quick stuff. Go back to the FAMU game where Harold Blood throws a pretty ball. He throws a pretty deep ball. His arm strength, he's probably top 5 in arm strength in the SWAC. So there's a lot of attributes of Harold Blood that you just can't say. Like, I'll say, this is how much I don't believe in Dooley. You take Harold Blood and put him on FAMU, they're still undefeated. That's how strongly I feel about Harold Blood's ability to play the quarterback position. Now, I do think Musa's anticipation is at a whole nother level, but Harold Blood has the arm talent to get the job done. I really think Dooley puts him in a lot of bad situations that don't fit his play style. And it falls on Harold because you're seeing him go out and do what he's doing. He going 8 for 26, but nobody wants to hold accountable Dooley for the plays that he's calling in the situations that he's putting Harold Blood in. And I'm listen, my thing is going to be on Dooley. You can live on that Devontae Kincaid. You're not a great offensive play caller if you tell me you need a special player at quarterback to make this system work. Well, if I give me a special guy, then you're not good. You're not good. If you need a special guy, that tells me you're not good. So I'm off the Dooley bandwagon. It's whatever it is. You guys can listen, this is not sustainable. Living and dying and reaching and hoping, it's not sustainable. And you guys are probably going to lose the rest of your games against talented opponents because the offense is not sustainable doing what you're doing. And you're just beating bad teams and getting away with it. That's all you're doing. But, hey, I'm sorry. That's my little rant for Southern.
You ain't got to apologize.
So and let me say this before I get up out of here. If Southern thinks people should pay $39.99 for this crap, for no scoreboard, no time, I don't even know what the score is. If Willie Scott, all you Bamas down there, SID, y'all have a trash ass. This is horrible. These graphics are absolutely ass. I didn't know what quarter it is. I don't know nothing. And you want people to pay $39.99 for this? Hell no. Nah. Take that shit somewhere else, man. Sorry. That shit pissed me off. I'm like, this what they stop it. Stop
How
it.
much you say?
$39.99.
Yeah.
For no time, no score, nothing. Stop it, man. Stop it. They need to go on somewhere with that. So whoever's y'all communications director, whoever that, they need to be fired because that's ass. That's absolutely ass that you're gonna have people pay for that. All right, let me ask you this. Let me ask you, Pete. I need you. I like when I love when Zoe says this. I'm gonna take my JSU glasses off. Right? I just need you to take your Southern flag off. When you look at this as a football fan, what do you see when it comes to Southern?
I think I keep it real each and every week because I'm critical of the coach. I'm critical of the outcome of the games. One thing I can't argue is a W, but it's how you go about getting the W. When I step away, and I told you this, you remember when I said this from day one? When you watch SWAC football, don't watch it from a football perspective. Watch it from a pride perspective. Because football and the perspective that you're looking for in terms of execution, in terms of great game planning, you're typically not going to get it on the high end like you would want it when you're comparing it to what you're watching on mainstream television each and every week, whether it's ESPN, Fox, CBS, wherever you find your games to watch them. But when I'm looking at Southern, what I'm looking at is the old saying, they say offense sells the tickets and the defense wins championships. The offense ain't selling tickets and the offense is pissing the people off. But the problem is, and you have to evaluate, and I had this conversation a couple of days ago with a couple of my partners, and I will put this in perspective for people to understand where I stand from. LSU, when Les Miles was there, defensively was stout. But LSU and Les Miles won games, right? Les Miles was very successful, but it was how he was going about doing it with that halfback dive toss play that fans got sick or tired of watching under Cam Cameron as the offensive coordinator. And LSU came to Les Miles and said, look, get rid of Cam Cameron or you have to go. They didn't give a damn. Les Miles was one of the most successful coaches in the country, not just the conference of the SEC, but in the country. It was about the fact the fans aren't excited and you are boring them out with this lethargic, old school offense when you look at what the game is today. Flip it to Southern. Fans are looking at Southern's getting a W, right? Hey, we want to win. But it's like, damn, why are you putting us through this when you're the head coach and the offensive coordinator? So when I evaluate you, if I'm an AD or if I'm a fan, if I'm anybody that's looking at this program from the perspective that I am, I'm looking at, well, you as the head coach and people ask you, including myself, when it comes to the offense, what's going on? And you gaslight me. You make it seem like there's nothing wrong. It's quite fixable. And most of all, I'm a guy that knows offense. And what I call really works is just, I don't know what's happening. But guess what? It's fixable. You can't keep telling me that after I've been seeing it last year and I'm seeing it this year. So when I take my glasses off, it is frustration. It is frustration of a fan base that watches football and supports his team to have to sit there and watch the offense struggle, watch a quarterback struggle, watch a head coach struggle in his play calling and act like there's nothing wrong. Southern, what they used to say by the hair of their chinny chin chin is getting W's because it was nothing short of a miracle of winning that game Saturday. But to be in this situation, Scotty, it is absolutely frustrating because your head coach is the offensive, and I won't use guru. I will use supposed to be offensive specialist.
Yeah.
And when you use the term offensive specialist and you hold the title as the offensive coordinator and the head coach, And what's happening is you're looking at the team, and it seems from the offensive side of the ball, you're keeping the team from the potential that we know they can be. Southern's defense, if only they can muster up some damn good offense, Southern can legit be one of the top contenders and be a badass team in the nation.
Yeah.
We talk about black college football, but your head coach, who is your offensive coordinator, is telling you there's nothing wrong, and that is the frustrating part. So when I take the glasses off, I'm in the stands with the fans, I'm interacting and I'm talking. That's the problem. That's what get the boos from the stands when they looking at the play of the offense.
All right, I got to do some parenting real quick. Continue on. I'll be right back.
Wait, all right. Well, let's go to Jackson State and UAPB. Jackson State gets the victory 40-14. Listen, nobody, I think, expected Jackson State to be this good now that they benched Jason Brown. But then they bring in Morgan, and he's found a way to really excel with this offense. You look at what he did in this game, 373 passing yards, 5 touchdowns and interception. Pine Bluff, where was the fans? I know they said it rained, it was storming, but I saw the pictures all across social media. It was the band there, right? Jackson State, I thought, brought maybe a couple busloads of fans. Jackson State in this game, 21 first downs, 8 of 14 on third down, 475 yards of total offense, 373 of passing, 102 on the ground, 1 interception, of course, Morgan in this ball game. And on the other side for UAPB, 17 first downs. But UAPB really struggled on third downs. Y'all ready for this? 1 of 11 on third downs. They only converted 1 time on third downs, 230 total yards, 133 passing yards, 97 rushing, 2 turnovers, 1 interception, 1 fumble. Morgan, as I said, being able to get 5 touchdowns. Fabian McCray, 7 receptions, 136 yards, and a touchdown. And DJ Stevens, 3 receptions, 99 yards, 3 touchdowns, finding a way to get to the end zone. That's all you want. It ain't about the yards. It's about the touchdowns, and that's what mattered. That's how you're able to put 40 points on the board. Donald Johnson for the third for UAPB, 7 returns for 160 yards. Hey, you heard me shout out a punter early in the game. I shout out a punter for the Golden Lions in this one, Jeremy Baker. Hey, congratulations, brother. 6 punts, 221 yards, and punted. His longest was 51 yards. He did his damn best, but hey, he couldn't just stop Jackson State from driving it down the field. Jackson State gets the big victory on the road against UAPB. You see what they look like without Jason Brown. This is a team that gives a quarterback an opportunity to step up and showcase, do you have talent or not? And I know Jason Brown started the season. You was on me about that. As the season went on and you talked to Mike Reed about it, now you're starting to see that quarterback room. And, man, when you talk about Morgan and what he was able to do, big win on the road for Jackson State.
I think this is a great confidence builder for Morgan. I'm still a little, it's still UAPB, right? It's still, it is what it is. But I do think this is a great confidence builder for Morgan and for JSU in the offense of what they would like to be. I still need to see more. You know what I'm saying? I got to see a little bit more before I'm just like, I want to be very clear. I think Morgan is a great fit for this team. I love his mobility. I love his arm. But just how they scheme it, I just got to see it a little bit more before I'm like, all right, they got it down packed. They're a team to be worried about. And I'm going to just tell you this. Word on the street, there's a lot of players going to jump in the portal after the season. That's what I've been hearing. A lot of Tahoe State fans are not going to be happy about the players that are going to decide to jump in the portal. That's just what I've been hearing. Just a little word on the street. But, the portal giveth and the portal taketh away. All right. Next up, Bethune, Graham. Grambling is not where they need to be, in my opinion. Because offensively, I said, if you don't score 30 or more points, this ain't, I'm not. And you score 14 points in the first quarter, or no, you score 21 points in the first quarter, and then you don't score 7 into the fourth. Like, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? And Bethune-Cookman, they got a solid defense, but still, the way Grambling's offense needs to be clicking, it's not clicking for me, and it's frustrating me. I already know your defense is bad, but at least you should be able to count on your offense, and it's not coming together like it should, in my personal opinion. So it is what it is. What you got, B?
Yeah, Miles Crawley seems to be coming down on the back end of all the excitement that started the first half of the season. Grambling does not seem to be the team that we thought to have that trajectory to get better and better and become this powerhouse. And simply because it has been the defensive side of the ball that has really hampered them. But Miles Crawley does not quite seem to be that same guy. Grambling 15 first downs. They struggled on third down conversions, only 3 of 14 in this game. 331 total yards, 163 in the air, 168 on the ground. They had a fumble in this game, but for Bethune-Cookman on the other side, 5 of 17 on third downs, 11 first downs, 177 total yards, 81 passing, 96 on the ground. But you know what? It hurt a team when you got a chance. Turnovers, 3 interceptions, 1 fumble. And you look at, hey, another punter? You want a punter? Bethune-Cookman, your punter. 9 punts, 436 yards. Nobody's excited about that. As long as it's 62 on the day.
That man
Miles Crawley.
That boy out here punting.
Listen, that's all he did. His legs should be sore. They should be wrapped up in some ice right now. Miles Crawley, 11 of 22, 142 yards. Chance Williams stepped up big, 17 carries, 119 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns in this ball game. Grambling got it done. This game kind of mirrored to me when I look at Southern versus Bethune-Cookman just a week ago. If you can get it done just enough, you can get a victory against Bethune. But Bethune is not a team to take lightly. Grambling got the victory and advanced and moved on. But they definitely got to be able to scratch their head in some areas and say, how can we get better from Miles Crawley's perspective, being able to get the ball down the field more? And most important, like you said, you have been on them all season defensively. What can Coach Thornton do in order to help improve this team, if he can, any or at all? Do you think, Scotty, that this team is even talented at defense? Because they had the SWAC preseason player of the year on defense.
He got the, I think he's like the SWAC week player, defensive player of the week or whatever. Then I like Lewis Matthews, the linebacker. I like him. I like number 4 at the corner. He's real long, rangy type of dude. But everything else is just like, everything else is just And the scheme that they run, to me, doesn't help any of the players. And Sundiata just hasn't looked like a playmaker. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you get SWAC defensive player of the week for Bethune-Cookman. Okay, whoop-de-doo. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's Bethune-Cookman. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're going against Alcorn or you're not going, you know what I'm saying? It just, like, you do that against Southern, you do that against Southern. Okay, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? You can do that against Jackson. Okay, cool. I'll take that, But you do it against Alabama State. Oh, okay, I'll take that. You know what I'm saying? Some teams that are formidable, but yeah, Bethune-Cookman, no. And then I'm getting in Twitter wars with people from Bethune-Cookman talking about, oh, we still riding with Coach Woody. I'm like, bro, like, your ego got bruised and now your ass. Like this, because if you have Ed Reed, you don't lose all these games. I don't care what the talent alone wouldn't have allowed you to lose all these games. So they're just living on this. They living on this hope and prayer with Little Bill, and they just living, whatever. They're gonna be 2-9 next year, and they're gonna keep being ass. Simple. All right, let's talk about the cousins. The battle of the cousins. Hampton comes out on top. Your boy Zealous comes back 11-19, 198, 2 touchdowns. Of course, he got an interception. That's part of Zealous's mystique. 12 carries, 89 yards. Can we just clap it up for North Carolina A&T real quick? Passing for over 100 yards. Like
I'm not clapping for that.
I am, because it's been a rough season for them. Woo, Jesus.
Had they won, they get 3 claps and a hell yeah.
Yeah, like let's give him like, come on, man. Kevin White finally throwing over 100 yards. North Carolina T having a passing game. 10-15, 2-11, 2 touchdowns. NIT. Listen, man, this is the battle of the bad, battle of the cousins, whatever you want to call it. It's just you know what I'm saying? But the only time North Carolina AT can actually look like a real team is when they playing somebody just as bad. So, because think about it, if they didn't beat Norfolk, they're like they're not winning a game. They wouldn't have won a game. And I want to be very clear. Dave, Aggie fan, Aggie alum, I told him at the beginning of the season that Hampton would have a better record in the CAA than Aggies. And I am correct as always. What you got, Perry?
I think we both agreed on that. A&T in this ball game, 12 first downs, 5 of 12 5 of 10 on third downs, 318 total yards, 211 in the air, 107 on the ground. They had 2 turnovers, Scotty. 1 interception, 1 fumble on the other side for the Hampton Pirates, right? And that blue and was that silver? It ain't white, it's blue and silver. I think that's what that is. 23 first down, 6 of 12 on third down, 465 yards, 198 passing, 267 on the ground, 1 interception. Hey, Christopher Zealous, 11 of 19, 198 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He also had 12 carries for 89 yards. Elijah Barris, 18 carries for 63 yards. For the other side, you look at, you talk about Kevin White. He got 211 passing yards, right? 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. But it's always, you look at a team in that turnover battle, and that's typically where it costs you. But this was one hell of a game of 2 teams, old MEAC foes now in the CAA. And this is what you get, a 26-24 victory for Hampton, man. Shout out to Christopher Zealous getting back on track. Much needed. Especially when you talk about where they were standing at this point in the season.
Absolutely. Listen, Howard, Dale State, you know,
was it too close for you?
What?
Was it too close for you?
Way too close.
Didn't seem too scary in this one, did they?
No, well, it's well too close. It's too close. It's just too close for me. and it reflected in my power ranking. Q-Dub, 1925, 183 yards, a touchdown. Casey Hawthorne, 8 receptions, 107 yards, a touchdown. Delaware State, Aaron Angelos, 10-17, 118 yards. It's nothing about if Howard. Let me just say this: if Howard's supposed to be the team that they think they are, which I think they are, and they got that battle with NCCU coming up, these aren't the time. Like, I get it, you going in the battle with Morgan State. I get NCCU barely getting out there at Morgan State. Their defense is unreal. Howard, 17 points against Delaware. Nah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan. Go ahead, B. Go ahead.
Howard in this ball game, 7 of 12, 353 total yards, 183 in the air, 170 on the ground. Howard did something well in this game, Scott, and I love to see this stat when you talk about the turnovers. 0. I love that when I see it. When a team has 0 turnovers and low percentages, when you talk about penalties, that is a disciplined team. I like to see that, right? On the other side for Delaware State, 4 of 8 on third down, 248 yards total, 118 in the air, 130 on the ground, 1 interception as a turnover for Delaware State. Howard find a way to grind it out for the 2nd straight week. They had to come from behind against Norfolk at homecoming and get it done by 7. And then once again against Delaware State, grinding it out and getting it done by 7. Howard is just, now that they got in conference play, they don't look like a scary team. They look like a team that's just enough to get by, no matter who the opponent is. And that's what they've been doing, surviving and advancing so far.
What's that song? Just to get by, just to get by, just to get by. Yeah, no, man, they are pissing me off. I'm all super high. You know me. I'm over here, Howard. I'm over here banging the table for Howard.
When you look at Howard versus Delaware, you thinking that's going to be like when they played Harvard. It's going to be one of those 40-7. Howard's just going to be the most dominant team in that one because of what you've seen. But now that they got in conference play, they don't seem to be that same team that played against Northwestern. That same team that was on the road.
Eastern Michigan, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but I guess it's the opponent. And guess what? These MEAC teams know each other oh so well.
Too well. Hey, young Cypher, I didn't watch listen, I don't watch no Delaware State game. I'm gonna keep it about the only Delaware State game I watched was against Central Connecticut because I picked Central Connecticut, so I wanted to make sure I was gonna win. But I don't watch Delaware State games. I can't stand Lee Hall. Listen, he's just not a good coach to me, but to each his own. But listen, I don't see the lights out my driveway no more, but it's still the same situation.
Our administration, our students, we brag different. You guys don't follow social media probably as far as getting the chat boards and all that stuff. But our people talk big talk, all right? Because they know we can back it up. We can back it up in the classroom, we can back it up socially, and we gonna back it up on the football field.
Please give it up for Mr. Campbell! Bishop Detective Captain. What the name is that? You see, you're on mute. Old people on mute.
See, let me just make sure we just show this one more time. See, Perry, that's called cashing big checks. See, that's what we do down there in Florida A&M. That's a check for $100,000 that we just had to hand the president out there on the field.
That look like
So,
80,000. That look like 80,000.
Well, no, we had already given them 25,000.
That ain't a check for 100,000. I'm like, I can count.
We already gave him a 25 G's. So, family, we do that crazy accounting. Perry, how are you doing this evening, my brother? How are you doing?
What's going on, Mr. Campbell? I got a little thing that I think that help you turn your camera the long way.
Oh, you want me to turn my camera a long way? How about that? How about that? That work?
There it is.
There we go.
Oh, nice little widescreen. Okay,
Yeah,
I like
I got the nice little wide screen. Got Martin and them in the background. Well, you know what? Like I say, we are here today. We had FAMU's homecoming. But Scotty, the thing about it is we had a lot of things going on. I went down to FAMU's homecoming. I drove the Escalade down there on the 22s, met a lot of great people that watched the show. Had a lot of great people. So, most people know me in two ways, either Stephen Campbell or Soup. But when I heard people say Mr. Campbell, I knew exactly where they were coming from. So we had a lot of people saying, Mr. Campbell, I'll watch you on the show. Scotty, Perry, you know what, though? I am a bishop, right? And a detective. I had a couple of ladies saying they wanted me to lay hands down there in Tallahassee and pray with them. I also had a couple of ladies say they wanted me to use them handcuffs. But Perry, we don't do that. We don't do that. So, we just wanted to make sure we just had a good homecoming, enjoyed ourselves, proud of the Rattlers getting that. But that's not what we're here to talk about, homecoming. We're not here to talk about that.
I'm Scotty. What we doing here? What's going on here, Scotty? What's going on? I thought we gave FAMU. We had Jeremy Moose on, right?
So we're actually here, Perry, to actually talk about what actually happened during the weekend because, I thought I was on vacation. I went down there to homecoming, but clearly there was a lot of crimes that were committed, Perry, during this time. So, we are never off. So, you know what it is. We've got a couple of crime reports that we got to check into. This is going to be a very interesting crime report. So, you know how it is. In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by two separate yet equal important groups. The police who investigate the crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories. Now, here was the thing. We usually only deal with crimes, but little did y'all know, we actually have a little known unit called the Off-Script Animal Control Division. See, because even though we ain't white folks, and we ain't gonna leave our dogs in the wheel and leave the house, we do love our animals too in the SWAC. So the Off-Script Animal Control Division was called. So on October 28th, 2023, at approximately 5 p.m., the Off-Script Animal Control Division was called, from that phone in the back, because it is, that we don't use that phone, but only for 911. So the phone in the back rang, the one that Sanderson Farms calls, and was dispatched to Legion Field, 400 Graymont Avenue, West Birmingham, Alabama. Now, Perry, here was the damnedest thing. 85 maroon and white bulldogs and a barking man were found lying on their side dead. Let me tell you how they were killed. They were killed by multiple hornet stings, female stingettes, and can you believe even their insect cousins, the honeybees? A bunch of trained murder hornets that flew 90 miles. Actually, they rode the bus from Montgomery to Birmingham, Alabama, came and stung all these folks, the murder hornets. Now, this was the sad thing. This murder was witnessed by 60,000+. Perry, it was bulldogs with Hennessy bottles and dog bones all over the field and the parking lot. A very messy crime scene, very messy crime scene. So what we are now doing, we will be sending out case of raid to see if we can get rid of this hornet problem, because clearly Jackson State and Alabama A&M could not solve it. So we got raid going out to those people. So that is the one that we had to take care of with the Off-Script Control Division. Now, here was the thing. As you all know, I was in Tallahassee, but y'all do know I picked up a new job, and I am now a pilot. So I had to jump on the plane. Now, y'all know we usually do not deal with out-of-state jurisdictions, but we had to deal with this. Now, Scotty, usually we let these white folks handle these, but once again, we got a phone call in the back. And you, Scotty, you know who called us?
Who called us?
Bucky. Now, you know who Bucky is. That's Dion's son. Bucky called. Now, y'all know Bucky make all them videos. Now, I'm going to tell you the only reason why we answered that phone. Bucky's mama is a rattler. So, you know, we had to give him the industry courtesy. So Bucky called and said, Mr. Campbell, we have had a crime out here. So on October 28th at approximately 8 p.m. at 1001 Rose Bowl Drive, Pasadena, California, where the white folks live at, these men off with at least 3 diamond and gold chain worth thousands of dollars. Now, here's the thing. It is amazing the only people that didn't get their stuff, though, was Shadur and Shiloh. So now we worried about this an inside job. So Bob actually called the police. You know, he thought he's out there in Colorado, thought the white folks was the answer. The Pasadena police put Prime on hold. Now, see, here's the thing. When Prime was in Jackson and his stuff was allegedly stolen, you know, remember his boombox, Scotty, and his wallet was stolen?
Yes,
he called off-script CSI. We immediately found those items. Now they don't know where those chains at. Because white folks ain't gonna help them. The last we heard, it was 3 Mexicans and 1 white boy that looked like Eminem that had the chains. So that's what we're looking for. But the question what we're asking is for all the black people that, you know, Colorado is or was Black America's team. I don't know, after 4-4, I think y'all done jumped off that bandwagon. I think y'all back on Alabama and, you know, and Texas now. But we need all of you primates to help find these missing items because we got people out there hurting. Because once again, we do not extend our jurisdiction out there with them white folks. So we can only assist from afar. So Bucky, even though we took your phone call on homecoming, we wish your rattler mother well, but we don't know if y'all gonna get them chains back. I'm just letting you know that. So unfortunately, that Colorado crime scene will not be properly solved. I hate to say that. Apologize for that. So now, this one, Scott, I was actually here trying to enjoy myself. And I never thought that this was going to happen. At my alma mater, that a crime would be committed. But once again, the phone in the back that got forwarded to my cell phone, the off-script animal control division was called once again. On October 28th at approximately 9 p.m., the off-script animal control division was called to Bragg Stadium at 1500 Wandish Way, Tallahassee, Florida, where the SWAC East champions reside, to a crime scene. And Scotty, you're not going to believe this. I met all 10 of the PB fans. All 10 of them. But here was the sad thing about these 10. These 10 Panthers were bitten 45 times by a snake that's indigenous to the area called a FAMU rattler. Now, to let y'all know, indigenous means that's around the area. So for some reason, this rattler is usually only poisonous during the second half. But on October 28th, this rattler actually struck again early and often, leaving a few Panthers laying around in purple-looking Prince outfits. So we had to clean that up immediately. So once again, the Animal Control Division was called out to pick up all these Panther carcasses. And once again, the FAMU rattlers have struck again. So it is a damn shame that we had to do that to those Panthers. It is really disappointing. But Perry, I will tell you, just like we did that to those Jaguars, we did give those Panthers a nice burial. You know, we dumped them in the ditch, threw a little dirt on them, and kept it moving. Because we didn't want to ruin homecoming and stuff like that. We did not want to ruin homecoming. But that is our crime report. We really, really want you all to know, please stop abusing animals. Please make sure that you don't leave Hennessy bottles laying around. And also, please call 1-800-TIPS if you find any of them chains that them boys from Colorado lost. Because I'm telling you, they probably going to win another game. So all they got is jury now that they're going to have. Because they damn sure ain't going to get no championship jury for the Pac-12. Guaranteed. I'll tell you that right now, 100%. Look at Perry. Hey, what's wrong, brother? Are you cold over there in Baton Rouge? He ain't got nothing to say. He ain't got nothing to say, Scotty.
Oh,
But I
man.
just
I figured this what it looked like when they walked in that Colorado locker room. They came.
Well, see, Perry, the thing about it is, this is the thing that when we talked to the Pasadena police, we just knew that there had to be some video. And you know what they said? They didn't know. So I don't know what that's going on with that. I don't know what that is about. So nobody knows when it's ever anything to do with Prime or Jackson State. They didn't know. So they didn't know. So we'll just have to see about that. But I want to tell you all, I really appreciate, and this is now the serious side, how much love that you gave me down in Tallahassee, how much that you talked about you enjoyed this show. We have a lot of fun. And I'm just proud of Scott. He has now moved to Maryland. And it hurts my heart a little bit that my son is not going to be within driving distance, but I'm very proud of him. I'm very proud of what the move he's making. And Perry, I'm very proud you've done a great job of these interviews and things like this. So like I said, I want you brothers to keep pumping on and keep doing this great job. And as you know, if there's a crime around, you know, we'll be around. But wait. One last thing though. Hey, Perry, what was the kid from Texas Southern, the running back's name?
Ladarius Owens.
Hey, I'm just going to tell you something. I just got a text message from the off-script transfer travel agency. We might have a buddy pass for him. So just to let you know, Ladarius, if you need a buddy pass to get on out to Texas Southern, because we can probably get you on that first-class flight with Andrew and them at the end of the season, just to let you know. So I just want to let you know the transfer, off-script transfer travel agent is now open. So y'all have a good one, and I love y'all all.
Hey, appreciate it, Mr. Gamble. That crime report. That is. It was a lot going on. It was a very eventful weekend in the SWAC. Very, very eventful weekend.
It's like we in New York or LA or Chicago with the type of crime going on, ain't it?
It's everywhere. It's everywhere. All right, let's get into it. We're gonna hit the top five. We're gonna hit the previous games and we're gonna get up out of here. I mean the future games. We're gonna get up out of here. All right. HBCU top five. Week 10. I apologize. I did not change it. This is week 10. It ain't really changed. That's why I ain't really have too much to do. But go ahead, Perry. Explain this horrible Power 5, top 5. What you got?
Hey, look, week 10, we're headed into it, and we're getting closer to what is going to start to set up for the Celebration Bowl, what's going to start to set up for conference champions. And right now at number 5, Southern University Jaguars. And if y'all haven't watched what I've been doing over the past couple weeks, I've set this up for a hell of a game coming up this weekend, right? Southern at number 5, the Jaguars 5-3, 4-1 in conference play. Southern has wins against Alabama A&M, UAPB, Texas Southern. They've won 3 in a row, and guess what? They're 5-1 in their last 6 games after starting the season 0-2. I can talk about them all day, whether it's pretty, whether it's ugly. The Jaguars have won, and you cannot deflect that a team is 5-1 in their last 6 games, and that one loss was a close last-minute loss to Florida A&M, who's the number 2 team on this list. Southern's at number 5. When you look at the number 4 team, Alcorn State Braves, as they like to call the BBB, and I ain't talking about Big Baller Brand. I'm talking about the Big Bad Braves of Alcorn State. 5-3, 4-1 in conference play. They have wins against McNeese State, Bama State, Grambling. They have won 4 in a row, which puts them in that position at the 4th spot. And just like Southern, Alcorn State is 5-1 in their last 6 games. Alcorn and Southern set up for a huge matchup coming up this weekend in Lorman, Mississippi. When you look at 2 teams 5-1 in their last 6 games at the top of the SWAC West. At the number 3 spot, let's go to Tennessee State. They are 6-2, 2-1 in conference play. Wins against Kennesaw State, Norfolk State, Gardner-Webb. They have won 4 in a row. And guess what? Tennessee State, just like Southern and Alcorn, 5-1 in their last 6 games. These 3 teams right now may have started slow, but they're heating up as they get into conference play and as they get midway through the season right now. And number 2 and number 1 have not changed all season. FAMU, the Rattlers at number 2, 7-1, 6-0 in conference play. They are the number 13 team in the FCS latest poll put out today. Wins against Jackson State, Bama State, Southern, as well as Prairie View. And guess what? FAMU is on a 6-game winning streak currently. And then the number 1 team in all of HBCU football, the Eagles of North Carolina Central, 7-1 overall, 2-0 in conference play. They're the number 9 team in the FCS latest poll. They're on a 5-game win streak and have wins against Campbell, Elon, and Morgan State. So Southern coming in at the number 5 spot, 5-1 in their last 6 games. Alcorn State at the number 4 spot, 5-1 in their last 6 games. Tennessee State coming in at the number 3 spot, 5-1 in their last 6 games. And of course, FAMU and North Carolina Central, I think, are the toast of HBCU football. But ladies and gentlemen, all eyes on Lorman, Mississippi this week. In my opinion, we got a top 5 matchup. It is going to determine the SWAC West division as Alcorn and Southern both sitting there at 4-1. We saw Prairie View and Grambling both since take a step back. These are the 2 teams that's leading the way. And for me, one of these 2 teams can challenge FAMU when it comes to a SWAC championship berth appearance in December.
Who can challenge? Who can challenge them?
Either one of these teams.
Oh, yeah, definitely not.
Let's go back. I mean, Southern in the FAMU game, I mean, there was not a 45-7 blowout like we saw against PV. Questionable calls late in that game, but I mean, it was one hell of a ball game, Scotty. Let's not act like that game was a classic. Southern versus FAMU in Baton Rouge. Alcorn has only played FAMU once
at home.
Okay, I get that. But I'm just saying, regardless of the fact it was one hell of a game, Alcorn has only played FAMU once in history, and it was in 1982, in which Alcorn got the victory. I'm actually intrigued to possibly see an Alcorn FAMU matchup, but we all know the history when it comes to FAMU and Southern. And so far, Southern, when you look at conference play, they have played FAMU pretty much the tightest of any teams we've seen in the conference right now. So
with losses.
A loss is a loss.
I'm about to say, because you can't go and say a win is a win and then try to make excuses.
I just said they have played them the closest. I didn't give them but we've seen FAMU kick some ass.
Okay. And it's been y'all.
Prairie View, this game this past weekend, everybody was like, isn't this supposed to be the so-called SWAC championship preview? Maybe Prairie View. Prairie View is not even in the same league as FAMU, the way FAMU whooped up on them. So I think right now, when you look at Alcorn and Southern, both teams are on win streaks, 4-3 apiece, 5-1 in their last 6 games. They right now control their own destiny, and that game in Lorman, Mississippi is going to be one hell of a game to what I feel determines SWAC West.
All right, so unlike Perry, I ding you for a struggle win. You know what I'm saying? That's just me, right? So I had to bring Howard from 4 to 5 because they struggled with Delaware State, right? Alcorn still at number 4 for me, moving up from 5 to 4. Tennessee State, the first 3 ain't nothing to really repeat. The first 3 are what they are. But Alcorn, and listen, my number 6 will be Alabama State. And the reason my number 6 is Alabama State is because everybody else you want to put there, they beat. You want to put Southern there, they beat them. You want to put Jackson there, they beat them. You want to, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't. If you want to put A&M, if you thought that, you can, you know what I'm saying? You can put them and they beat them. So I don't see how Southern jumps over a team that they've lost to. Doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? But hey, to each his own. So for me, that would be my close number 6, that fringe team of 5. If Howard slips up and messes up and they go down or whatever, I'm definitely jumping them. Alabama State jump over. Because it's not really a MEAC team that I would trust outside of Howard and NCCU that will put them there. Oh, yeah, I'm very high on Howard. Very, very high on Howard. You know what I'm saying? Very high.
Clearly.
Yeah, I mean, they're better than y'all.
We don't, I mean, come on, Delaware State. Who would you compare Delaware State with in the SWAC?
You just, bro.
No. You made a statement saying they're better than us. If they won 17-10. Against Delaware State, would you compare?
It's the same thing. You just had a struggle win against Texas Southern. Howard just had a struggle win against.
I'm going by what you're saying with the people who talking to you. I'm just asking, who would you compare Delaware State with in the SWAC?
Texas Southern. I just said that.
If Texas Southern and Delaware State played, who you think?
Texas Southern's winning. Somebody got to win the game.
Say less. Thank you. Say less.
Okay, somebody got to win the game. It don't make sense. Somebody got to win the game, so you got to pick somebody.
If you say Texas Southern, okay.
I know they will, but at the end of the day, y'all still had a struggle win. Still a struggle win. At the end of the day, it is what it is. And it just doesn't. I don't understand how you don't, like, just logically, just to me, and this is the problem. You lose to 2 SWAC schools as out of conference opponents. And then you're over top of the teams that you lost to.
Because my philosophy has always been, what have you done for me lately? Have we did this the first week and the second week of the season? Of course. We're headed, you know what? In 2 days, we're going to be in November. You're talking about something that happened in the beginning of September. I'm not going to hold nobody accountable what happened at the beginning of the season in September, and we headed into November. Scotty, the season is almost over. We literally have about 3 more games, and even for Southern, after Alcorn, there's Prairie View, and there's the Bayou Classic. That's where we at, and you want me to continue to hold an 0-2 start? I told you they're 5-1 in their last 6 games, regardless of the opponents. The opponents are on the schedule the same way for every team on here.
Not the way y'all be scheduling. Not the way y'all Bama's be scheduling. But, you know, I get what you're saying. I get it.
The SWAC is the SWAC. Okay, so overall, what you're saying is the SWAC opponents just aren't where you want to be up to par. But let alone that is the SWAC. The thing is, Southern and Alcorn are right there at the top of the SWAC West, and Southern is 5-1 in its last 6 games. Yes, the 0-2 start against Jackson State and Alabama State, but that has been a long time ago. We went through the whole month of October, and we're headed into November. For me, it is what have you done for me lately? Congratulations to Howard by beating Delaware State. All right, 17-10. I don't know what you want, but if this was the big bad
Howard, not the same thing about Texas. You barely beat Texas Southern with no Andrew. What are we? How are you not seeing the same parallel?
I see what you're saying, but you literally just told me Texas Southern was better than Delaware State.
Somebody would have to win the game.
You didn't say Delaware State would win it, so you just told me the SWAC opponent would be better than what MEAC opponent Howard just played.
You asked me to compare Delaware State to what team? I said Texas Southern, and then you're going to ask me who would win. I got to pick somebody to win.
All right, then.
Texas Southern.
So you telling me Howard is that ass that Texas Southern is that much better than them? I mean, that Delaware State is that much ass that Texas Southern would beat them, and Howard still, yet big bad Howard struggle with them 17-10.
You struggle with Texas Southern.
You just told me Texas Southern was better than Delaware State.
Your argument is not valid.
It's very much valid.
No, it's not. Because you can't ask me. Your argument is invalid based off you asking me who do I compare Delaware State with. Yes, you did. You just made an argument.
My point. I made a point, not an argument. I'm not here to argue with you. I made a point. My point was to ask you who's the better team. You said Texas Southern over Delaware State.
You asked me. You know that's not what your first question was. Your first question is who do you compare Delaware State to? I said Texas Southern. That was your first question.
What was my second one?
Who would you pick in the battle? Who would you pick? Texas Southern.
Now my point is the fact that you saying Texas Southern is better than Delaware State, and you saying Southern struggle with Texas Southern when you just said Delaware State is sorrier than, in your opinion, than Texas Southern.
And they struggled just like you struggled. They're both struggle wins. I docked Howard for their struggle win. They went from 4 to 5. Did you dock Southern? No, you did not.
I mean, I didn't dock Southern because
see how my argument is valid and yours isn't?
I didn't dock Southern. And I'm not docking you, but my whole thing is Southern still has won since that 0-2 start, 5-1 in their last 6 games. I guess people don't give a damn if you win games, and nor do they care if it doesn't matter who's on your schedule, because Delaware State obviously is not a formidable opponent if you think Texas Southern is better than them. So Delaware State on your schedule does not give you any brownie points. And my point is
just beating Texas Southern. I'm not understanding your point. They're both struggle wins, Perry. That's what you're not missing. And the fact that you're not docking Southern for a struggle win, but I'm docking Howard for a struggle win.
That's what I like what you're saying, because Howard has not won 5. Have not won 5 of their
They've played more FBS competition than you. Y'all don't schedule nobody.
Okay. Congratulations to Howard for doing
Come on, man. Like, what? I mean, you can't have it both ways. They have a tougher schedule. If we went schedule for schedule, they have a tougher schedule.
No doubt about it.
And played teams better than you with a weaker schedule.
I don't grant anybody any not even clemency, because what you want me to do is give them innocence or set them free because they decided as an AD, we're going to schedule tough. We're going to schedule Eastern Michigan, and we're going to schedule Northwestern State. Guess what? You scheduled that, and guess what? They scheduled them games with the thought of they was going to lose them to go get a check. I don't hold that against them, but let alone they lost those games. And I don't like, we're talking about struggling. I don't give a damn if you won or lost that game. If you won those games, I would have gave you thumbs up and said, you know what, because you won those games, that what makes you that much better, because that's what I'm giving North Carolina Central. They're out of conference game. What
That's
they
why
went and
they're
played
number one.
UCLA and got their ass whooped.
That's why they're number one.
But they went and played the other schools, like the CAA schools,
And they won.
got victories.
That's why they're number one.
Once again, and that is why they're number one. But I'm just saying what I can agree to disagree with you. And for me, I understand why you like Howard, because of the way that they played against non-conference opponents, and you saw how close they kept it. I can respect that's how you feel, because you feel they kept it that close, and now you see them in conference play. For me, I am a little bit different. I am, what have you done for me lately? And if you start the season 0-2 and then you turn 5-1 in your last 6 games, regardless of the opponents, you're winning games. And you're at the top of the SWAC West and putting yourself in a position for one hell of a matchup this weekend against a rival who is right above you, who has done the same thing at 5-1. I give you kudos for that. And because of that, that's why I have Southern and Alcorn at 4-5.
The thing that's bothering me is that you're leaving, like, you're talking like there's no context to football. Like you throw out 5-1 real easy, but when you really start looking at your opponents, you're like, that's not really. It's not really a real strong schedule.
And I can't do nothing
I'm just saying, like, you love to throw the 5-1 out, and then you look at your competition and you're just like, okay, how? Because if you're talking about the SWAC in totality, and you talk about it's the SWAC,
who's really good in the SWAC, guys?
Clearly not y'all. If you lose to Jackson,
but I mean, really, who's really that team in the SWAC? Everybody's like, because did you think FAMU was gonna whoop Prairie View's ass 45-7?
Absolutely, not 45-7.
That's my point. So
touchdowns. I definitely thought 2 touchdowns.
So when you look at FAMU playing Prairie View, nobody saw that coming at 45-7. So does that now think less than Prairie View?
I was never high.
Alcorn and won against Alcorn.
They're not on my Power 5 because I've never listen. I look at teams, and my Power 5 is, who would I be scared to play? In Prairie View, I've said it numerous of times, they don't do anything special. They are fool's gold. Defensively, they're super basic. They run a cover 3 quarters. I was surprised they went man against FAMU. I ain't seen them go that much man in the whole season. Prairie View is fool's gold. Now, the thing for me is if FAMU gets rolling, it's a team that it's just like you're on front of the train and you can't. If they're rolling, it's just a bad day for you. It just really is. If they clicking in this role, there's nothing you can do about that, right? But to me, Prairie View is not on their level. Really, none of these schools are in the SWAC or on FAMU's level. They're just so loaded, it's not even fair. You get what I'm saying? So, because even if you go back and look at the game against Southern and FAM beat itself and still beat you.
I mean, that's just what happened, though. They beat themselves. But they still won. They had a chance to, the same way Texas Southern had a way to possibly blow Southern out Saturday. They ain't got nothing to do with me. All I can tell you is who winning. But I understand what you just said, and I respect it, because you said who scares you the most. And I don't go by that. I'm going by who's right now the hottest. Who's heating up, regardless if you like how they win or not. They find ways to win. And right now, Southern, Alcorn, Tennessee State, FAMU, and North Carolina Central are the teams for me that's hot right now. Everybody else, I don't care how hard you play and who you played. How hot are you right now?
To me, you're hot and playing well are not the same. Just because you're winning doesn't mean you're playing well or you're hot. Like that's not the same. Like, you're not playing your best ball going into Alcorn. You're not. And if you say you are, you'll be lying to yourself.
There's plenty of teams when you look on the FBS Power 5 who may struggle against. Ohio State has done it many times when they have played.
I know about what you just said. You said hot, and you know you're not
telling you hot. Ball. Ohio State will come in whooping everybody ass and will play against a Purdue team who's a 3-4 win team on the season, and they will struggle against a team like that. Let alone if they go in and get the victory. I don't give a damn how sorry Purdue was. I just give a damn that Ohio State got the victory. We see it all the time in college football. It ain't about the fact that you struggle. Did you walk out of there with a victory? Any one of these teams circle you and want to whoop your ass, Can you go in there with every team that want to whoop your ass and get a victory? And Southern has done 5 times out of the last 6, no matter who the opponent that has circled them and wanted to whoop their ass. And Texas Southern had a chance to do it, and unfortunately, they wasn't able to get it done.
I 100% agree with you, Christopher Jones. 100% agree with you. All right, let's get into week 10. The battle of the bottom. All right, battle of the bottom. But Little Bill Valley, what you got?
Damn, who I picked? I think I went Bethune-Cookman. Bethune-Cookman get a victory in this, so I'm gonna go Little Bill in this one.
Yeah, I'm definitely going Little Bill as well. I think their defense is playing really high. Hopefully they can find some type of offense to get it going. But I just think the quarterback situation at Bethune is just ugly. They don't know what they want to do at the quarterback position.
Who was it? Walter Simmons, the third, the quarterback.
It was
back and forth with him.
It was Luke, and then they went to somebody else, and then they went to Walter. So I don't know who at the end of the day they're going to go with, but I'm going with Bethune-Cookman. Hopefully they get this win, just for my pick's sake. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, if you're this bad, somebody got to win. All right, next up, Morgan State, Delaware State. What you got?
Morgan State. Come on, Bears, get it done.
Absolutely, DMV, you're good with me. Going Morgan State all the way with this one. Listen, I won't be surprised if this game is a little closer than people. This is definitely not going to be a blowout. I just don't think offensively Morgan has the weapons to make it a blowout. But if they get rolling defensively, it's going to be a long day for Delaware State. Absolutely long day. All right. Coming up next, Jesus Christ, this is like just bad on top of bad.
Picture with that big ass ball in his little hands, man.
He ain't got that many pictures. You know, you HBCU, man. Listen, HBCU media is just bad out here in these streets. Okay, they don't got many pictures. I'm going PV. I mean, they should be able to beat UAPB. I mean, everybody else has, so shouldn't stop it from there.
Yeah, I mean, UAPB right now is just playing atrocious. I'm gonna go PV. Bubba McDowell. I hope they can get it done. You know, they've only scored 7 points in their last 2 games.
Jesus Christ.
0 points against Houston Christian and only 7 against against FAMU. I hope they can get it going because everybody has found success against the Golden Lions defense. But 7 points in your last 2 games, man, you got to come on with it. Trayvon Conley, you're going to need to step up big in the running game, I think, for Prairie View is going to really have to step up big. Everybody's been able to run the ball against UAPB. I don't see why you can't run the ball, Prairie View.
Yeah, I mean, they have the backs to do it. Ahmed, Caleb Johnson, Trayvon Conley. This would be a great game for him to get back on track. When I don't think he's going to throw an interception in this game. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
he'll find a way.
I'm gonna say he's good for one, but I think this would be a great game for him to get about 250, 275 in the air and do some damage to UAPB, get back on track to play Southern coming down the pipe. All right, I love this logo. I ain't gonna lie. When I was looking for it, I was like, damn, that's cold. Charleston Southern, Tennessee State. They keep rolling, man. Tennessee State, they keep rolling. The defense is crazy. Draylen Ellis is playing. He's getting better and better every game. He's getting more and more comfortable. Definitely got to go with Tennessee State on this one.
I looked at Charleston Southern's schedule. They struggled a little bit. They got some victories here and there. But Tennessee State, I doubted them last week. I still roll with them against Linwood. But I think what Eddie George is doing right now, I like Tennessee State. I'm going to roll with them in this one. Hopefully they can get it done over Charleston Southern. We talked about trap games. This sets up a trap game.
Absolutely.
And I hope they don't get caught slacking in this one. This is a trap game. But I'm going to roll with the Tigers of Tennessee State in this one.
Definitely. That defense, as long as that defense comes and shows up, they have a good chance in any game to really be competitive. All right. Oh, my God. This ain't
Towson.
Towson. Let's keep it pushing. All right. Man, listen. Now, let me say this. This is the return of Miles Crawley. He's playing his old team. It's going to be in Mobile. Let me say this. This was one of my biggest games of the year. And I was hoping to come into this game leaning towards Graham. And I think Graham has the offense, but defensively, they just are a problem. And I do think Alabama State defense is good enough to stop what Grambling has going. It hurts my heart. It hurts my heart to pick against Miles Crawley. I'm going to be rooting for you, Miles. I will be okay if I lose this pick. I ain't even gonna be mad. I'll be okay if Miles Crawley goes out there and throws for 300 yards and they win the game. But I got to go with Bama State on this one simply because of the way they're playing defensively, and they play very good complementary football that Grambling just can't seem to find. So got to go with Bama State on this one.
Shout out to the Bama State quarterback coming on and having great conversation with us tonight. But I think this is one Miles probably got to put a chip on his shoulder and say, you know what? They didn't want me. They never really let me really blossom. I'm going to put this one on me, coach. I don't give a damn what the defense do. They're going to have to outscore me. And I'm going to go with Grambling. I think Miles Crawley plays with a chip on his shoulder, and he got something to prove in this game. So I'll go Grambling with this one.
Man, I hope you're right, Perry. I don't really say that very often. I hope you're right because it would do my soul. It would do me everything right to come back on here because I know they'd be like, Scotty, but you didn't pick them. Well, for me, I'm looking at it football-wise is that Alabama State's playing the better complementary football. And you know me, I'd rather be right than wrong, even though Miles Crawley is my guy, and I hope he dogs Alabama State out. So I'm going to be rooting for you, Miles. I am. So don't take my pick as I ain't rooting for you because I definitely am. But I got to get my picks back, man. I got to close the gap on my picks. So I got to do what I got to do. I got to do what I got to do.
You don't sound so sure at all.
I'm really not because I really want to go with Grambling, but hey, man. They haven't been looking too clean. I ain't gonna lie. Jack State, okay. I think I picked Texas Southern the last 2 weeks to win. I think they went 1-1 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they beat Grambling
and then they lost to Southern.
Beat Bethune and then they lost to Southern. This is if it was in Houston, I would have picked Texas Southern. I think what Southern showed, this is my issue. Southern showed to Jackson that you can run on this team, and that's what Jackson likes to do. So I got to go with Jackson State on this one. It really hurts my heart. I can't trust McKinley. I can't trust Jace to do what they were supposed to do. So I got to go with Jackson State.
Listen, Texas Southern let Southern win the game with 58 damn passing yards, right? I just think Jackson State, Texas Southern, but listen, they are a really good team. They just self-inflicted penalties, problems, like turnovers and penalties. This team was knocking on the goal line on the 1 yard line and bagged their own selves up. They got the opportunities to get it done. But I just think right now with Morgan in at Jackson State, I like Jackson State in this one. I think Jackson State gets it done. I think Texas Southern is going to push them and going to push them hard. But Texas Southern is their own worst enemy.
Man, they're so talented, man. That's the thing. Like with Ladarius, with AJ Bennett, with Quay Davis. And I know Quay Davis is going to want this game so bad. You know what I'm saying? So playing his former team. But got to go with Jack State on this one. This one hurts. Jesus Christ.
These your boys. I can't believe you stressed out with your boys.
Because Buddy Pugh always do some weird stuff that you just be like, how he come with this word?
Bison.
Listen, I'm going with Howard, of course. I'm going with Howard. I mean,
Jay Walker, where you at? Where you at, Jay? Somebody screen and send that to him. Jay, where you at?
Oh yeah, I'm going with Howard. I'm going with the Bison. You know what I'm saying?
Bison. Man, you better go with them. You say they the big bad. Everybody should be nervous and scared of them. And if we've seen what they've been able to do in non-conference play, and considering the way South Carolina State has been inconsistent, Corey Fields Jr. inconsistent, you got to go with Howard. If this is the team that's at number 5 in your ranking, and people need to be scared of them, this should be an easy victory for Howard in this one against South Carolina State.
Just like that Southern should have been an easy victory for you, right?
All right, yeah. I can say if you want to go with it. Like
I'm just saying. Easy victory like you said, a win is a win. That's what you said. A win is a win. You know, so you go to overtime with Texas Southern, but win is a win. Right. I just want to make sure.
I didn't know you was gonna come in this with your number 5 team. Like,
I mean, I keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? I know in South Carolina State, they ain't gonna just lay down. You know what I'm saying?
But if you make you nervous in that one.
Hey, how about you pick Norfolk State? How about that?
I'm going Today I'm flying Eagles, baby.
Oh yeah. Dark horse my ass. Yeah.
But listen, the dark horse should have got them victories against Morgan and Howard, but this was one I was going with North Carolina Central. And you know what's some crazy shit? This may be one of this could be an upset alert because Norfolk been right there all season. This could be one that they'll fool around and get it. We didn't even see this one coming. Dawson Odoms and Trey Oliver, both North Carolina Central Eagle alums.
Yep.
I talked to Dawson Odoms and he said, man, listen, this team just look, they can taste it. They just got to be able to feel it. But I'm going to go North Carolina Central, but don't be surprised, bro, if something crazy happened in this one. Because to be honest, Scotty, Norfolk has not been out of any game this year except against Temple. And this could be one where we just overlooking him like, what the hell happened? But I'm going to go North Carolina Central.
Oh, I'm just so, I thought it'd be so. I thought you'd be rocking with your behold, but it's ECU for me. But I do agree with you. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a 7-point game. You know what I'm saying, or a 3-point game. I would not be surprised at all. If I'm Norfolk State, I'm not throwing the ball at Chambers. I mean, I'm not even trying that kid. Like I'm really not. I don't care if it's Otto Kuhn, Otto, Otto Vance. I don't give a damn who's the quarterback. Don't throw it at Chambers.
I'm like you in that Alabama State versus Grambling game. You know how you felt about that one?
Yeah.
With the quarterback situation. I'm like this with the coach. Both these guys was at Southern. Norfolk State, Dawson Odom was the head coach at Southern. Trey Oliver came to Southern as the defensive coordinator. He was previously at A&T as a position coach. When I look at these guys, I love everything. We talk about a program between these two guys. They know each other well. And I'm just saying, as much as North Carolina Central is favored in this game, and I want to, something tells me, once again, a trap game, something about Norfolk State can go in there because they've been in there with every team. Every team. But I feel like it's going to be the same story, just different day. Norfolk State finds a way to take a lead, and then in the fourth quarter, they squander away. Davius Richards find a way to get his team down the field and in the end zone to get it done for North Carolina Central's homecoming.
I agree. Fam by a country mile, okay? Now, let me tell you this. If I was Quincy Casey, if they asked me to play this game, I would not play.
What?
If I'm gonna keep it a buck with you.
Why wouldn't you play?
I'm not playing this game.
Why?
Let me tell you why. It's because you can't, as a quarterback, you can't keep like if I was Quincy, you're not gonna pick me up and just keep putting me like I'm not doing that. I'm just saying personally for me, right? Because you rock with Xavier in the Grambling game. Cool. Like you take me out in the Jackson game, right? You don't let me battle back to fix my flaws. You take me out, you let Xavier. Xavier throws 2 picks, you don't peel him. All right, whoop-de-doo. You let him go into the Grambling game. He runs for 195, but throws for 9 for 22. You win that game. You let him go into the Alabama, the Mac City Classic game, and you let him do what he do, you lose that game. To me, you are not about to throw me out there against FAMU, knowing I've only started 4 or 5 like nah, I'm not doing that. Listen, I'll be like hell to the no. I'm not doing it.
Blow me up, B. Blow me up, okay? Can you blow me up? Quincy Casey, I don't know what this talking about. If Coach Maynard asks you and whoever the offensive coordinator asks you to play Saturday, put your helmet on, put your shoulder pads on, and go out there and make some film for yourself, bro. Football comes few and far, and when it's over, it's over. Bro, get out there while you got an opportunity and you still able to play, and play. Just let this be one of the ones that's memorable for you in your life. But do not sit this out if they ask you to play and say, I'm not going to play. When it's all said and done, it's over, you're going to look back on your career and you're going to have I coulda, woulda, shoulda. It don't matter where your team is. It's about you right now and your experience and your memory. Man, go out there and play if they ask you to play that game, man. Forget all that other stuff.
Better than
but
me.
I'm going FAMU in this one.
I'll be like, hell no, I'm not going out there and play.
Go out there and play, man. Prove to it and let everybody know who you are, Quincy Casey. If they ask you to play.
If you play, you play. If you don't, you don't. But I wouldn't.
That ain't no warrior to sit back and say, no, bro, no. You done came too far in your journey man, get out there and play that game if they ask you to play, and do the best that you can, and look back on it and just
I
say,
look at it like this. I like if he. This is why I say this. If he goes out there and he throws a pick or 2 picks, will you pull me again? Like you like what? I mean, where is the confidence? Xavier goes out there and throws 2 picks, you leave him in. Like that. That's my issue. It's not the fact that I don't want to play. It's the fact of the matter is like, what is the standard of playing at A&M?
Don't throw no picks then, Quincy Casey. Hey, I ain't gonna tell you to do nothing wrong. I'm trying to tell you to do everything right. If you get the opportunity, you make the best of the opportunity. I ain't gonna come up with nothing that's gonna force you to do anything out of the ordinary, out of the wrong. But you go out there and do what you got to do and will your team to victory. That's all I can ask. If you've done it in the past, what's any difference? Pull an upset. They already just claimed the SWAC East. They want to claim the SWAC championship. Go in. You ain't got shit to lose.
That's facts.
You ain't got nothing to lose, fam. You got everything to lose because they can still miss out on hosting the SWAC championship. Go get your victory. Do what you got to do. And go back to North Carolina Central right quick before we move forward. One thing I want to say, even if North Carolina Central slip up, this team, regardless if they make it to the Celebration Bowl now, Scotty, a legit chance for the FCS playoffs. And this team right here can be dangerous in the FCS playoff. I just want to say that because I know a lot of people not talking about it because we've already kind of shooed them in to a Celebration Bowl. But just in case they stumble down the way and somebody finds a way to get in, this team is still legit. They had a win-win regardless at the end of the season. Whether they go to the Celebration Bowl or the FCS playoffs, North Carolina Central is still one of the better teams in the country, and they're going to find a way postseason play regardless.
If everything plays out, it can literally come down to NCCU versus Howard again at Howard. And I know Howard ain't going to no FCS playoff. They don't got enough wins, but if Howard beats NCCU, NCUs are just going to walk right into the FCS playoffs.
And I just wanted to make sure we talked about that because I know nobody's talking about it, but because they don't play that championship game and they're done the week before Thanksgiving, they got a legit chance, man, to be a really good program and a high seed, especially in the FCS playoff right now, being in the top 10, ranked number 9 in all of FCS.
Man, Maryland has been kicking my butt, bro. Jesus Christ. Woo. All right. Hampton versus Maine. I'm taking Maine. Listen, I love Christopher Zealous. I love Elijah Burris. I don't trust the consistency. So I'm gonna go with Maine on this one. I know you went with Hampton.
I'm gonna roll with Hampton. Christopher Zealous, this is a game for you that's winnable. Maine ain't, they not world beaters. They are a team that's a formidable opponent. And if you go in and you do what you got to do along with Elijah Burris, and if you can get that formula to work, limit the turnovers and get that formula to work, Hampton can sneak out of there with a victory against Maine, and I think they're capable of doing it. And there's a lot going on in Maine over this past week that can possibly be distractions as well. But I'm going to roll with Hampton.
Yeah. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. That's a good point. All righty. You should know by now what it is. Rematch of the SWAC championships. Rivals. Somewhat would say. You know what I'm saying? Down in Lorman. It's going to be a doozy. You going to the game?
Boy, am I going to the game?
Because I didn't know if you was going to be able to talk about it if you didn't go. So I was just
I'm going. Look, I don't miss many Southern games. And for sure, when you're talking about it anywhere in Mississippi, because it's right up the road. Alcorn is in close proximity. One of the closest schools to any SWAC school is Southern and Alcorn. Hour and a half, an hour and 15, you on the campus of Lorman.
Okay.
Highway 61 straight up. Scenic Highway straight up the road north, baby.
This is all on you, my guy. I'm going to sit back and I'm going to just listen to you talk.
Well, these two teams I like when you look at who they are, Southern and Alcorn. Am I happy with Southern the way that they're playing right now? I am not. Is the Jaguar Nation happy with that guy with that visor on and that white right now? They are not. Make
sure you give me a score, too. Make sure you give me a score. Go ahead.
I do my best to give you a score. And they are not happy with him. But nonetheless, regardless of how anybody feels, when you're AD and you saying, why should I fire a guy? Well, you got to say, well, hell, he did win these games. And regardless if he won it, it was ugly. And, that's the hard part to argue about why you want him to go. But nonetheless, this is the number 4 versus the number 5 team in Perry's top 5 HBCU. Both teams are sitting at the top of the SWAC West at 4-1. Both teams have won 5-1 in their last 6 games. Alcorn on a 4-game winning streak, Southern on a 3-game winning streak. You love to see a matchup of 2 teams when they come together because this has turned out to be SWAC football. Alcorn, welcome to the SWAC West Division. Now that it took 2 years for you to kind of get things going post-COVID, you have found yourself in a position battling for the SWAC West after dominating the SWAC East. And their quarterback, Aaron Allen, has stepped up big. You're starting to look at the emergence of Jarvion Howard at the running back position this year. He's starting to step up, and on the other side, it's Southern's defense that stepped up. Southern's offense is going to be the question. Southern has won the last 2 games, both played in Baton Rouge. Eric Dooley got his first victory against Alcorn as a head coach last year in Baton Rouge on a big 4th down stop. Side. You was there.
I was there.
That game.
I was there. It was a good game.
It was a good game. The year before, Southern got a victory at home off of a field goal the same way like against Texas Southern. This game has come down to the wire the past 2 times. I expect nothing less but listen. If you ever been to Lorman, Mississippi, when it's rocking, it's rocking. And it is a tough place to play to go on that reservation. And I'm going to tell you, one song you don't want to hear, you don't want to hear Cherokee. And when you hear funky stuff late into that 3rd, 4th quarter, your ass is being handed to you in a platter. So if Southern is going to have to go in, the Jaguar Nation, regardless of how you feel about Dooley, show up. Southern, Alcorn, this should be one for the ages when you talk about the SWAC. Right now, considering what's on the line, Scotty, this is probably one of the bigger games outside of the Jackson FAMU game to start the season. Considering what's on the line and a SWAC championship berth potentially on the line, I think this is perhaps maybe the biggest game of the year in the conference until we get to a SWAC championship, just considering the 2 schools. So I'm going to roll with Southern in this one.
Oh, shocker. Oh, shocker. What's your score? I need numbers too, not no by 3. I know you like to do that. That's cheating. Oh, by 3. Southern by 3.
$17-14.
Southern, got you. Okay.
And I could be damn wrong. I mean, I don't know, but I 17-14. I believe in Southern's field goal kicker, right? And I don't believe
that Bama legit. That Bama legit. Gotta give him credit for that.
54-yard, but I know I can't put too much on Harold Blood, but I think Southern's defense can step up somewhere in here. And I think Southern's run game, if Kendra Grimes or Gary Quarles found a way, I think they can get us a point in there 1 or 2 ways. And I think Southern's defense can create a turnover somewhere to give Southern good field position, where once again the run game can find a way to get into the end zone and then a field goal late. So I'll say 17-14.
Okay.
There's
nothing there. Okay. Alcorn is better offensively, point blank period. They're better wide receivers, better running back, better running attack, better off. They just have a better scheme. Defensively, I think y'all guys are pretty even. I think Alcorn's front 7 is pretty legit. Yours' front 7 is pretty legit. I think it's going to come back to the quarterback play. And the quarterback play, head and shoulders, it goes to Alcorn. And in the SWAC, you need that guy. You need to have a guy. And they got a guy. I know there's a lot of history, but I think this is probably the best team that McNair has had after that COVID season. Just kind of like, the balance that I see from this team of how he can attack you in multiple ways with Jarvion, with Nico, with Rogers, with Montario Hunt. They can attack you in so many ways. I see them beating you by 2 touchdowns. I got it 27-13. 27-13. I don't think this game should even be close, if I'm being honest. I think Alcorn is just a better team all the way around. I think what can make this game, I think where Southern needs to take control of this game is special teams. If you guys can get great returns, if you guys can get a punt block, a field goal block, something in the special teams game, I think you guys can turn the momentum around. But if I'm being honest, this game shouldn't even be close. It really shouldn't. I think Alcorn is just that much better than y'all. And they should put it on full display today. On Saturday. But offensively, yeah, that boy AG, I know you're in here. I don't know if it's Malcolm Rogers or Malik Rogers. That Bama code. That Bama Malik Rogers, he just as good, if not better than Montario Hunt. So, and the running back game is just, they can just beat you in waves. So, yeah. So I got it. What? I said 20. I said what? 27-13, something like that. 24-13, something like that. That's 11 points. So I said 14. 27-13, something like that. Yeah, but 2 touchdowns. Malik Rogers. Yeah, that boy nasty. That boy nasty. I'm telling you, you better remember that name. That boy is absolutely nasty. Yeah. So let me ask you this. Because I always ask Mike this question. What is the narrative if you lose?
I think the narrative if we lose is going to probably be circle the offense and look at Coach Eric Dooley. All season, the defense has been right there showing you they can compete. They did it against Bama State in a loss. They did it against, the one game I say they didn't really do it against was against Jackson State. They wasn't there. They stepped up against A&M, stepped up against UAPB. They played fairly well against Florida A&M outside of the miscues Florida A&M had within themselves. Stepped up against Bethune-Cookman and stepped up big for a return, a scoop and score against Texas Southern. Southern's defense has been right there. The narrative is going to definitely be, what are we going to do with Eric Dooley in this offense? Because it all falls on him. And clearly that seems to be the sore spot for this team and what's hampering this team from being great. And everybody, if you're a Jaguar fan, a Southern fan, or you just been watching football and watching Southern play, you clearly can see that it's Southern's offense. And when you circle it, who's the guy that's in charge of Southern's offense? It's their head coach, Eric Dooley. Haven't you done an entire show talking about his offensive play calls? It's Eric Dooley. So that's going to be the narrative. Eric Dooley will have cost this team an opportunity, a very talented Southern team that has the weapons on offense. He would have cost them an opportunity to move forward because of his stubbornness and his lack of wanting to change who he is in order to evolve to win games. That would be the narrative because it's already in play. It's the same narrative from last year.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I think this, if Alcorn beats you guys by 3, I'll be more shocked of what you guys did than what Alcorn did not do. But yeah, I don't see this game being close. I don't think.
For let me flip it. If Southern wins, what's the narrative?
Oh man, I just think Alcorn can't win the big game. Because the way the way Southern is built, it's talented. Okay, right. It's like when I see Southern, it's like a strategy that could work, but the person doesn't know what to do with the pieces.
No identity.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like you don't know where up or down is or left or you have all these pieces, right? It's like if you got a choir with Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Luther Vandross, Tank. You got all these singers and they all in the wrong spot. So they all can sing, but they don't sound good together because you're not coordinating it right. You get what I'm saying? That's what I feel like when I watch Southern. I'm like, you got all these singers, you got all this talent. Like, I like the kid Will Hoyt. I love Petrie. I've always been a fan of Petrie. You know what I'm saying? You have all this talent, and it just doesn't seem like you're putting it together the right way, and it makes it seem like you don't have it when we know you do. You know what I'm saying?
That's what makes Southern a scary team, because when you look at them, you know they have the weapons. It's just the guy that don't know how to properly put it together to use the weapons. And that's why I'm constantly rolling with Southern the way that I do. You know, damn, if you can find an ugly way to win and not even utilizing your talents, and you can win a game with only 58 passing yards, well, damn, what kind of talent do you have when you had another team that completely outplayed you? If Southern beats Alcorn, do they then move up into your top 5?
Absolutely. I mean, there's no if and buts about it. They have to, because I have Alcorn being so high, and I'm high on Alcorn from, it is what it is. You got to give it credit. So if let's say you guys pull out the 17-14, well, I know Southern's defense is that guy. They just that good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a defensive battle. Southern's defense just made more plays. You know what I'm saying, of what it was. So, yeah, they would definitely have to move into my top 5. There's no if and buts about it. You lose.
You out my top 5. They've been solid for 3 weeks, and that's been the most solid top 5 I've had all season. But man, the reservation should be jumped. This is SWAC football, man. If you've never seen a Southern Alcorn matchup for anybody out there, I don't give a damn. You go to these classics and all that, and I know a Southern and Jackson game is big, but when Southern go up there to Lorman, Mississippi, the country folk come out. They come out the hills of Mississippi, and they come out the Delta of Louisiana, and they come from all over. This is SWAC football that's going to occur Saturday over in Lorman, Mississippi on the reservation. I'm looking forward to it. Get there early, because it's one way in, it's one way out. You can sit your ass in traffic with no phone service all you want, but I'm going to be trying to get in there, trying to get me a bite to eat and hanging out. But this should be a good one. The weather should be good. I think I saw 77 degrees is the high for Saturday. Should be beautiful. Perfect 2:00 kickoff. I'm looking forward to it, of watching two teams that close proximity, don't like each other, but Alcorn always plays up for Southern. This is just one team that's always been a thorn in Southern's side, regardless of what era or what age it is.
It is, and it just adds to the mystique of the rivalry, of just, the battles, the SWAC championships, and it just adds one more ticker to the thing. All right, P, let's get up out of here, man. We've been here for a long time. Listen, guys, we hope that you guys enjoyed the interviews. Hope that we can get more of those for you guys. Some special guests to come in, talk about the games, talk about their experiences at their games and things like that. Perry, what you got coming up for the week, man?
Man, nothing much, man. Getting ready for the game this weekend. I'm ending the last week of regular season officiating high school football around here. It's time for the playoffs. That's how far we into the season. It's already time for high school football playoffs, Scotty. So, shit, we only got about another month of, talking about football before we end.
Man. And then we back trying to figure out something. Like, you see that transfer portal jumping, eh?
We on here interviewing bowling coaches and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? What your chess team looking like over there?
Heard your golf team doing pretty well. You know what I'm saying? The struggle bus. That's when it really comes to the struggle bus. Hey, but guys, listen, we appreciate your time. Listen, until next time, you know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna holler. God bless.